Good morning. It is Monday morning motivation once again.
Yes.
How's everybody doing? Hope you guys are having a great Monday. Ash is having a good Monday right now. She's
starting it off with bacon, guys.
Yeah, she's having a good time.
I was really hungry this morning. I was like, hey, I'm going to eat some bacon.
Yeah.
And he's like, go for it.
She's like, I'm going to put some bacon in the air fryer. You think it's okay if I'm just like sitting there eating bacon on the live stream? And I'm like, I don't see why not.
I'm going to up your Monday morning motivation.
Yes.
Nothing says like get motivated like bacon.
Mm-hmm.
It's delicious. Like, come
What
on.
everybody else had for breakfast today? Would love to know.
Usually I don't even eat breakfast, neither do you, but usually
it's pretty rare.
Usually we'll have like one meal a day, sometimes two, but for whatever reason today, bacon. It was on the calling card, so don't mind us.
There you go.
Coffee and bacon, though, is a dangerous combination.
This is one of the things about an air fryer that's so great.
Mm-hmm.
Ash hates cooking.
Oh, I hate it.
She does not want to cook.
Mm-hmm.
She can do it, but she absolutely hates it. She does a great job with bacon in the air fryer because you can just set it in and press the button and go. So
one of my skills.
Yeah.
Honestly, I feel like being married to Chris Cooking Nashville, I don't have to cook much, but really when I crave things, it's usually things like bacon, that kind of a thing. So it's nice. Air fryers are awesome, man. They make your life so much easier.
Definitely.
Mm-hmm.
Definitely. Guys, be keeping an eye out because we're going to have an air fryer video coming in the sometime near future. It's going to be an interesting one. So
we are, and I'm super pumped about it.
Yeah.
I don't know if you guys can see too, but Miss Mel is right here.
She's all about the bacon.
She's all about the bacon. That's my dog right there.
You ain't getting any from me, so you gotta ask Mom.
I'll give you a little bite. Come on. Have a little bite of bacon.
Oh my goodness.
She likes it. She's a fan.
Mel's having a good Monday too.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely.
Let's say some hey to some people and see who's here.
All for it.
Janelle, our rockstar moderator, is here. Hello, everyone. Please head over to the CCN Studios channel and subscribe and like there.
Oh, thank you, Janelle. You're awesome.
And there is our link for that.
Whoop, whoop.
Richard Williams is here. Good morning, neighbors. Hope you're staying warm. Hope you are in Copper Hill, Tennessee as well.
Oh, yeah. I think it's about 9 degrees currently in Nashville this morning is what our device told us.
Very cold today.
Very cold.
Very cold.
Very cold.
Michelle is here. She says, hello there. Waiting for the video. Hi, Michelle.
Hi, Michelle.
I'm glad you are here. Looks like my mom popped in just briefly to let us know they have a 2-hour delay, which means she's watching both ISS and the Voc students. So she is trying to keep Jello nailed to a tree rather than able to watch today. So
all good.
But in case she does happen to see this, hello, Mom.
Just wave.
Mr. Rick Charger Mopar is here. My duckies are back. Just fed them dumpster meat. Rick is
nice.
Feeding the ducks this morning.
Awesome.
Auntie is here, says, good morning, 1 more hour and I'm off work. Well, Awesome. Hope your last hour of work is as easy and uneventful as possible.
Absolutely.
Miss Cindy Demanch is here. Good morning, Chris, Ashmel, and everyone in the chat. Hi, Cindy. It's so good to see you.
Good morning.
And we've got Carnivore K. Hi, Miss K.
Hi, K.
How are you, Aunt K? Good morning, beautiful friends. Was 5 this morning in Western North Carolina.
Oh my gosh, get out.
That is cold.
You guys stay warm.
Yes, absolutely. There is 22QCat. Lynn says, hi there, Chris, Ash, Janelle, Shauna, Pam, Cindy K, and all. She get them all in there. And everybody's saying hello to each other. Good morning, Lori from Arizona. She says,
hi, Lori. I bet it's warmer in Arizona.
I certainly hope so.
Mm-hmm.
Certainly hope so. Robert Hanna's here. Good morning. Good morning, Robert. We appreciate you.
Hi, Robert.
And there is Martha. Good morning, everyone, she says. Hi, Martha.
Hi, Martha.
Tanya is here. Good morning from freezing Wisconsin today.
Ooh.
Tanya, what's the temperature in Wisconsin this morning? I bet it is cold.
Probably colder than here.
Probably so.
Yeah.
Emily is here. She says,
Emily.
no school. Me and Cooper are finally here. Well,
awesome.
Congrats to you and Cooper having a no school break right now. So
hi, Cooper.
Good to see you. Rick had eggs and pork chops. That sounds fantastic.
That sounds really good.
Cindy says no breakfast for her. She rarely eats it.
There you go.
Lewis Stone is here. Good morning, Lewis. He says, I had Chris cooking Nashville waffles.
Yum.
All right. I love it.
Man,
so
those waffles are really good too.
Yeah. So after the live stream, we are filming a video today. And the mixture I am using is a modification of that waffle batter. And I'm going to do something really crazy with it.
It's going to be awesome.
It's going to be amazing.
Yeah, hands down.
It is going to be amazing. We're going to have some fun with that. So Lori says skipping breakfast, but the bacon looks good. I may have some coffee.
Oh,
well,
we're right
amen
there
to coffee
yeah.
with you right there.
Mm-hmm. Yum.
There was a guy I took guitar lessons with a couple of times. His name was Scotty Anderson.
Okay.
Really great player. And when you would go to his house to take guitar lessons, he had it was like a finished basement, right? Like a walkout finished basement where he taught his guitar lessons. It was like his little guitar studio thing down there. He had a refrigerator down there.
Okay.
That was just for beer.
Just for beer.
It was just a beer fridge.
This is my kind of guitar player, yeah.
All it was a beer fridge. And we were sitting there in lessons. The first time I ever took a lesson over at his house, we were sitting there and he stops and he goes, beer refrain, and he realized his beer was empty. So he got up and went over and got another one. And he didn't drink like heavily, but he was just always sipping on a beer. And so he would hang down and he'd probably drink 3 or 4 of them, in an evening while he was sitting down there teaching guitar students. But he would literally stop in the middle of a lesson. I mean, these are like, 2 and 3 hour super lessons. I mean, so it was really intense stuff, and a break was well needed. And so he'd go beer refrain and he'd get up and he'd grab another beer. It was great. So I'm sitting here and I'm like, coffee refrain.
Yeah. You find like breaks in your live stream where you're like, can I eat bacon?
That's
Can
right.
I have a sip of coffee?
That's right.
Awesome.
That's right. Bacon refrain. I like that. Auntie says, so far, a giant coffee with Keto Chow caramel macchiato with butter.
Why does that sound like heaven?
But that's
that sounds so good.
Amazing. Lynn says, I don't eat breakfast. We'll have a big fat burger for lunch, probably. Never gets old. Love that.
That sounds really good. Burgers are amazing, guys.
So we're filming a recipe video. The thing that I'm making for this recipe video is going to be part of what we eat for dinner, because generally we eat like 1 meal a day. Since we're having like a bacon snack today, that'll probably just be the 1 meal that we eat later, especially because there's no need for us to do lunch or anything. We're eating right now. So we will just eat our big dinner along with filming and all that kind of stuff. So we're gonna have the recipe, and then I have a pork shoulder that I put in the slow cooker last night. And I put in some Mexican spices and some tasty things in there. So it's kind of a carnitas flavored pork shoulder. It's calling my name. Yeah. So I put it in before we went to bed last night, and we woke up this morning and the whole house smelled like pork. Smelled like carnitas cooking. It was amazing. So it's down there and it's just on the keep warm setting all day, just to tenderize. And then we're gonna have some shredded pork carnitas tonight. It's gonna be amazing.
Good. So good.
Martha says, no breakfast, don't eat till late morning or midday. Awesome.
Way to go.
Awesome. We got all these people in here doing this intermittent fasting in the morning. That's fantastic.
Which is awesome. Yeah.
So good for you. So fantastic.
Well, that's honestly what we do, usually like 1 meal a day, or if we do have 2, it's all within a certain window. And whatever. But
usually we either don't have anything during the day, or if we do have something, we have it around like 12, 1, 2. Usually 12 is the earliest, but it's usually 1 or 2 by the time we have something. And then we'll eat again at like 5 or 6. So we have like a 5-hour window that we eat within. And then, other than our coffee, we don't have anything usually outside of that most days. So
by the way, because I love you, would you like the last piece of bacon?
No, that's okay. You can have it.
You see how I offered though?
Yes.
I did offer.
Yes.
There was an offer.
Yes, and as much as you love me, I love you that much more. So you have the last piece of bacon.
There you go.
See, there you go. That's what marriage is like, right, y'all?
Yeah.
Who gets the last piece of bacon?
Who gets the last piece of bacon? And usually it goes to the dog, let's be honest.
Yeah.
So
the dog usually gets the best of all things in the house. Linda is here. Good morning, Linda. She says chaffle, egg, mozzarella cheese, and a spoonful of coconut flour. Love it.
Sounds good.
Renee is here. Says hello. I had black coffee as I am fasting today. Well, good
awesome,
for
Renee.
you. Rock it out. Sorry, we're eating bacon in front of you, but you're doing great.
I know.
I'm not. Martha says, "Yep, Cindy, coffee is good in the morning." Now, Cindy does not like coffee, so she's more of a Diet Coke in the morning kind of a person. But I agree, Martha. I think
some people don't.
Yeah, some people just do not like coffee.
Yeah.
And I mean, as a kid, I didn't, unless it was like full of creamer and sugar and a whole bunch of other stuff.
Right.
But, now coffee with a little bit of butter and salt is all I need. It's fantastic. And our iodine drops, of course.
Iodine and stuff. Yeah.
Yeah.
Absolutely. I drink coffee for my own sanity, but also for the safety of others. Yeah.
Yeah.
Like if I don't get coffee, I get grumpy.
Yep. Well, and we've talked about this before, but there are people that are like, you need to give up the coffee. It's going to make your life so much better. Ash and I both gave up coffee for 30 days. And there wasn't a thing in our lives that was better. And then when we had coffee back in, we were happy again.
Yeah.
Like I didn't sleep better. I didn't feel better. I didn't have any changes. Nothing happened. I went through a few days of like headaches and really dragging, and then nothing. The only thing that was different was I was still working a day job at that point.
Right.
I was still doing security, and hey, thumbs up for coffee. I was still working security, and I around like 2 o'clock, because I would get off at 3, around 2 o'clock, I would be sitting in the patrol car and like just trying to stay awake, because at that point I was running. 5 a.m. is when I would get up, and I was running until 10, 11, sometimes midnight every single night.
Yeah.
And I would be back up at 5 a.m. and I was doing that. Plus I was teaching lessons. Plus we were doing music. Plus I was running the YouTube channel. And I was literally just barely hanging on. And the caffeine was the only thing that really helped get me through. So it's the only thing I noticed that was better about removing caffeine from my life, was that I just didn't have to take the time to make it in the morning.
Right.
It's the only thing that was better. Everything else, I was like, nah, I don't like this. So we've done it. It doesn't really make a big difference for us. If you guys are happier without caffeine or without coffee, like, more power to you. I think that's great for us.
We've also like, we don't really, we only drink like 1 cup a day too, which I think is the difference, because on my standard
it's diet, a big cup, so it's worth 2 to 3 cups compared to other people.
But it's also how we're getting in like iodine. For me, like we talk about, butter and fat is a big deal for me.
Right.
It's a great way for me to get in more butter and fat, which I think would be harder if I didn't drink coffee. So we've made it to where instead of it's like I must have this, it's like, yep, I enjoy this, and then I add things that are beneficial into it.
Yep.
So
absolutely. Rick says cold is never an issue here. I have my air conditioner on. Yes.
Rick, no, buddy, no.
Yes, down in I believe Miami is where Rick is at, down in Florida.
Oh, well,
it very rarely is ever cold enough there to even turn the air conditioner off, let alone need heat. So.
I love that. It's awesome.
Sharon is here, says hello from Canada. Hi, Sharon. How's everything going up there in Canada? I know there's been a lot of changes lately, so hope everything is going well for you guys. Chili Harder is here. Good evening from Denmark, you lovely people. It's dinner time. A steak and the amazing Chris Carnivore chips I made today.
Awesome.
Phenomenal recipe. Carnivore is much better after knowing your recipes. Well, Chili, I'm so glad, and I love that recipe, and I'm glad that you do as well, and that you think so much of it. It is fun.
It's a very fun recipe, and they're really good too.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
That's so great. Tanya says she is just south of Appleton.
Awesome.
Linda is saying hello from Piedmont of South Carolina. Had a chaffle for breakfast, egg, mozzarella, and coconut flour. There we go. Everybody's saying hello to each other. Oh, there's Sherry. Good morning to the CCN Jam fan. Hey, I'll put you in timeout if you're not careful.
Oh, Sherry.
I don't have my phone in my hands, so I'm much less likely to drop the mouse that I use when we do these and somehow accidentally do something like that.
I was going to say, careful moving that thing around.
I know.
It's a loaded weapon.
I know. I'll start shaking the mouse over here like this and like end the live stream or something. So
wow.
So funny. Well, thank you for being here, Sherry. Even if I did time out you that one time, I'm so sorry. Lynn says, I'm sitting with an electric blanket on my lap, toasty warm, and on top of the hot blanket is Bun Bun, my cat. Little user hogging the heat.
How cute. I love the name Bun Bun for
Bun Bun
cat.
is fantastic.
That's super cute.
Fantastic.
Sounds
also,
like Bun Bun's smart.
A day when it's cold outside, sitting with an electric blanket and a pet on your lap and just chilling out and watching a live stream. That sounds like a great way to spend a morning.
It really is.
That's fantastic.
Heck yeah.
Lori says it was 37, but now it's 53. I thought it was cold.
It's funny.
Cranky Carnivore Cutler is here. Good morning, my friend. Says, greetings. Just finished 7 over easy eggs seasoned with just salt. My N=1 for January is salt seasoning only. That's awesome.
Oh, that's cool.
Congrats on being able to do that so far in January, and would love to know what kind of results you see. And if you find certain spices really bother you or what it is you're going to do. I did something very similar. I did meat, salt, water carnivore for a while, the first time I did carnivore. And that's actually how I know which seasonings and which veggies and all that stuff I'm more sensitive to. And interestingly enough, the longer I've done carnivore, the less I am affected by some of those seasonings, because I've experimented to see, are they still that way? And I either get very mild responses or I don't get responses to them at all. So it's interesting. It's almost like you can heal, and maybe your body, even if it's not like ideal in your body, like your body can handle it better. And on the rare occasion it either slips in or you choose to use it in your diet, whatever, maybe those things aren't as big of a deal. So I don't know. Awesome. It's interesting. Continuing the N=1. I love that.
Yeah.
Steven Stone is here, says, just chilling in Corpus. Well, hello, Steven. So glad you are here. Hope it is warmer there than it is here.
Yeah.
Tanya says -6 with a wind chill of -17. Woo!
That's cold.
That is cold.
That is cold.
Camille is here, says, you both look absolutely wonderful. Love the hairdo and the thin healthiness. I wish I had the jawline of both of you. I haven't had time to be on mass media much or cook much, but I'm so happy for both of you.
Oh, well, thank you so much.
Thank you so much, Camille. I'm so glad you are here, and you're very kind. I'm trying to get rid of the last of the poofiness here and under here, and especially down here, but you were very kind. I appreciate that so much. It was so funny. We talk about sometimes the weird comments you get on videos.
Yeah.
The other day, a couple of days ago, well, there was one yesterday, but there was one that sticks out even more to me a couple of days ago. Someone was talking about how I looked fat, and why would you even do keto or carnivore if you're just going to be fat anyway? And in the exact same video, like 5 minutes later, I had someone comment and go, man, Chris, you're really looking good. Like, you've lost weight and I can tell things have improved. And I'm like, it's amazing the difference in perspective based on someone who's ignorant, arrogant, and out of line.
Yeah.
And someone who actually takes, that's right, ignorant, arrogant, and out of line. That's what they are. And then someone who actually takes the time to know about your story, know where you come from, and they can see the change in you.
Yeah.
And you can literally see that back to back in 2 comments that are like 5 minutes apart from each other on the exact same video.
Right. Which
sort of leads to the conversation we're going to have today about not focusing on the tunnel, but focusing on the light at the end.
I like it.
So yeah, just wild, just wild. Cindy says it is 9 in Richmond.
Whew.
And let's see. Everybody's just saying hello to each other. Sherry says it is positively icy here at 24 degrees.
Ugh.
That is cold.
Very cold.
Rick says, I need to take time out and try and cook up some of your recipes. Great way to entice the duck food eaters. Absolutely. And that's the thing. Like, when I started doing recipes, I started doing recipes for myself because there weren't really recipes out there to interest me in the world of carnivore.
Right.
And it's not that I wanted them all the time, but on the occasion that I wanted something like that, I thought this will help me really be stable on carnivore because I can have fun in the kitchen and enjoy things that don't require me to go like off kilter heavily into keto or even into standard American diet stuff. I can remain, even if it's dirty, loose carnivore, I can still stay, fairly carnivore, have some fun things, and then go back to the meat, salt, water kind of days, because I still do that. I still have like beef patties and eggs seasoned with salt, maybe a little pepper. Like that's the kind of thing I eat most of the time. But the times when I do have those other recipes, that really stabilizes me. And as I got into this, I really started to recognize how many people are out there that need some extra support to just mentally get their minds wrapped around the idea they can do this. And so I started doing it, and people who were like, I would never try carnivore, or I'm nervous to try carnivore, or I'm not sure I can stick with this, or I'm struggling to stick with this and I keep going off the rails. I get hundreds of comments from people saying, this has made it easier to be carnivore. This has made it more fun to be carnivore. This has helped me so much. I've lost all this weight. I've improved this. I'm dealing with that. I'm going through cancer treatment. And now because I'm using your mashed potatoes, I'm not going off of that carnivore thing to cheat with mashed potatoes. And now guess what? My cancer treatments are working. My tumors are going away. I'm beating my cancer because I'm staying so low carb and so carnivore. And the times when I do struggle and I am craving potatoes, I just use yours. It's amazing to get to help save people's lives.
Yeah.
And that's the thing. It's like, someone like Rick, who is so stable on carnivore, does not need my recipes, and that's fantastic because Rick is just a rock when it comes to his diet, right? Like, he's just got that in lock, and that's fantastic. But how does someone, say, who is friends with Rick, who eats a standard American diet, how do they come over into the carnivore community and not feel like they're doing something totally out there and crazy? Well, there's options for them. There's things that they can use. There's things they can do. There's recipes. And someone like Rick can take the time to make that recipe and encourage his friends and say, I don't really eat this every day, but look, here's options. If you'd like to try this whole carnivore thing, you can do it. And check this out. This is a great recipe. And that's why we do what we do. So, Rick, that's awesome to look at that and be like, I need to learn this, and then use it to entice people on a standard American diet to try carnivore.
Super cool.
That's what we do. That's why we're here. That's why we do it. Let's see here. Angie is here, says, good morning, friends. It sure is chilly here in East Tennessee today. Hope y'all are doing great. Angie, we are great, and we hope you are doing great. And unfortunately, I think it's just about as chilly here probably as it is in East Tennessee.
Probably so, yeah.
It's chilly everywhere in Tennessee today, I'm afraid. But that is so great that you are here, and we appreciate you.
Yeah, glad you're here.
Oh my, Cranky Carnivore Cutler says it's 2 degrees in Tucson.
That's crazy.
That's cold
in Arizona
over there.
Woof.
That is very cold. Martha says weather's not too bad here. It's about 40 and sun, sitting on the deck with the grandson, enjoying the sunlight. What a beautiful way to spend a morning. Not only with the grandson, which is great for your soul, but the sun, which is good for your health.
Being outside and awesome.
That's amazing. And Cranky Carnivore Cutler says that's Celsius, so that's still cold for Arizona.
Yeah.
Let's see. Lynn says free pork incense in your house. That is right. Actually, you didn't spray any air freshener today.
Usually I'll light candles, spray air fresheners, things like that in our house pretty frequently because, we just cook. We have a dog or, whatever.
This house smells like meat and cheese all the time, according to my brother-in-law.
All the time. He walks in, he's like, why does it smell like meat and cheese in your house all the time? I'm like, well, hello. But I woke up this morning and it just smelled so good in the house because of Chris cooking the pork and all. I said, you know what? Not today. We're just going to let this linger in the house, and it smells amazing. Honestly, if they made that an air freshener, I'd spray that every day. Yeah. I mean, it's awesome.
Angie says they're having chicken wings today. That sounds good. Ooh. We had chicken wings just the other day.
We sure did. It's awesome.
Lori has a good question. If you have coffee with cream and keto sweetener, does it break your fast? Yes, I am really new at this. Lori, do not in any way be ashamed of questions like this because you are new at this. We have all had to learn this step by step. So, so here's what I'm going to say about fasting. Fasting, by definition, is refraining from eating all or at least certain foods. And how you do that is really up to you, and different types of fasting have different benefits. So if you're doing say an egg fast or a sardine fast, what it means is you're eating only eggs or only sardines and you're fasting from all of these other things because of something that's going to do for your body. If your goal with fasting is to have absolutely nothing whatsoever, and you want to enter autophagy and try to really do fasting, the best way of doing that is doing water only, and you can have minerals like electrolytes, right? Anything that has flavor, especially if it's any kind of sweet flavor, is most likely going to break that fast just because your body senses it, it tastes it, and it tends to break out of this. Now, I'm not a doctor and I can't give you a good explanation of all of the science behind exactly how that works. I mean, I understand it myself, but I can't give you the terminology off the top of my head because I'm not an expert in this, and I'm not giving you any medical advice at all. But Dr. Berry talks about this a lot. Having some kind of something that has flavor, or especially if it has any caloric content, we don't worry about calories in this house, but there's not really another better term. If you have food that has caloric content in it, you are technically breaking a pure water fast. Now, some people can do black coffee, and some people can do just totally plain unsweetened, no keto sweetener, no nothing tea, and they're okay with that. But even black coffee does technically have a little bit of remnants of something in it that could theoretically be caloric content. Is that enough to break a fast? Probably not, but it's really each person. If you want the benefits of like real intentional, like water fasting, you would have to just have water and not have keto sweeteners, not have cream, not have any of that, because you are intaking stuff. Ash and I don't really do that. I've done it a couple of times. I find it to be interesting. I also find eating one meal a day gets me most of the kind of benefits of the way I feel and the things that I want. So I don't really push it, but maybe I will at some point do a little bit more of it. So water fasting for the benefits of that and the autophagy and the things that it can do for your body and reset your system and all that, you would want to do no coffee, or at the very most, maybe some black coffee. No sweeteners, no cream, no any of that kind of stuff. But also, if you're new at keto, carnivore, any of these things, unless there's something you're really trying to make happen, I don't think fasting would be the first thing I'd start trying to like force myself to jump into. So if you're like not eating and you're just having coffee with cream and keto sweetener, and that's your version of fasting you're doing, where you're just like, I'm having my coffee and keto cream and sweetener, but I'm not eating any actual solid foods or any like real significant caloric intake until a certain time. I think that's a great way when you're new at keto and carnivore to start breaking into the idea of fasting, because you're essentially narrowing your food to an eating window. And then as you get more advanced at doing this, then maybe you start taking out the keto sweetener and cream and these different things, and you go more in the direction of water fasting as you feel comfortable. It's I think one of the biggest mistakes that I see people make, and it's not them making the mistake. I think a lot of times they're just taking bad advice because there's a lot of bad advice online. People who are brand new, or maybe not even brand new, but still new at like this whole keto and carnivore lifestyle, they see people who have been doing this for several years that are like, I went 72 hours with nothing but water and I did whatever. And it's like, okay, I'm a week into keto. I'm going to try a 72-hour water fast. I don't think you should do that. You can. It's not going to hurt you unless you have some, medical reason that would be a thing, and you would have to talk with a doctor and make sure that there's not something going on there, because I certainly can't give you that advice. But provided you're metabolically capable of doing it, there's nothing wrong with it. You're just going to probably deal with a whole lot of stuff because your body hasn't adapted to keto and carnivore very well. And more importantly, your brain probably hasn't really adapted to the idea of keto and carnivore. It's weird when you were eating carnivore, especially when suddenly you don't want to eat breakfast the first time. Mm-hmm. The reason that I got to where I was doing one meal a day, I used to, when I was working a day job, I would make my crustless quiche, and I would cut wedges of that and wrap it in plastic wrap, and I would take it with me to work. And I would have that, 2 of them, plus my coffee when I would get to work in the mornings. And then as I was doing carnivore longer and longer, I got to a point I wasn't able to finish them. So I just started taking 1. And then I got to a point I really didn't even want that 1. So I would just take my coffee. And next thing you know, I was working all day long, not eating anything. I would just have my coffee. I'd come home, I would eat dinner early, and I would go to bed. I just naturally started doing 1 meal a day because I just wasn't hungry. So I didn't force myself to do that. That just kind of happened as a natural progression. So as your body and your mind especially adapt to the idea of fasting, it gets a lot easier. So if you're breaking your fast using keto sweetener and cream and you're new at this, personally, I wouldn't worry about it. And then if you want to, as you get further, if you say, I really want to try some water fasting maybe once or twice a week and just kind of see, like, can I do just water up until my meal, or can I do an entire 24 hours on just water, or like whatever it is you want to try? You can absolutely do that, but just don't feel pressured that you have to do that. Do that if you want to do that, and do that when you feel comfortable trying it. Don't let someone in Facebook groups or someone online that's an influencer that has years of experience doing this bully you into doing it before you feel like you really want to.
Yes. Can I give you an amen?
Yeah.
Yeah. Also, too, on that, we are not doctors, so we can't give medical advice, but we've clearly done this for a while. But I would agree with you. The number one thing, like I have some ladies that I'm actually helping right now kind of make the transition from standard American diet and start keto and carnivore and like go down that rabbit hole. And I feel like there is so much pressure to start fasting right away. And like Chris is saying, we're not saying that's a bad thing. And maybe for you, that's good. I don't know your body. I don't know. I also don't know what is new.
Right.
How long have you actually been doing this? What are you doing?
Are you a week in? Are you a month in? Are you 6 months in?
Yeah.
Because I'm this go around, I'm like heading towards year 3 on carnivore. And I still feel like I'm new at certain elements of this. Like,
what I see though is a lot of people jumping in because basically it's like even if they're hungry and they're not fat adapted yet, they're like so new to this, but they're like, well, everyone fasts, so I guess I'm just supposed to fast now. I have to fast. Everyone here fast. Okay. And so they jump into it because there's a pressure, I guess, an expectation that that's what you're supposed to do. But it's like, but your body isn't quite there yet. And so then actually by going into a fasting state, you're actually stressing your body out. Yeah. And so then what happens is, let me just throw this out here. Yeah. You're not going to lose weight.
Right.
And then you're going to get frustrated. Yeah. Plus then
or if you do lose weight, it's not going to be weight loss you can maintain. Because you're going to swing right back the other direction. Mm-hmm. In fact, if you guys watch Carnivore Quest, I love Larry and Cassie.
Oh, they're awesome.
They're great. They're great. But Larry has really been struggling and he could use some support from people. But, he has done some fasts, like long extended fasting. Mm-hmm. And then what seems to happen is it stresses him out because he gains a bunch of weight back. He really tries to force himself. And I mean, I'm not saying that there's a bad thing in doing that or that he's doing anything wrong.
No, yeah.
But this is a journey. And I think it's a real example of how hard this can be if you try to force yourself. He stresses his body by forcing himself to fast. And then when he gets back into it, well, then it seems like he's much more likely because he talks about it openly. He fights addictive tendencies because he's like a recovered alcoholic, all these kinds of things. So, addiction is already in his brain. And he and Cassie both talk about the food addiction and, the things. And we understand that because I have dealt with that severely. Yeah. And even Ash has had, some carb addiction issues. And we understand how difficult that is. But he fasts, and then the stress of that, it's like it almost leads him back into that addictions mindset because you go so far away from it. Then when you come back, it's like you almost can't control yourself. And I know for me as a carnivore, when I was getting back into carnivore the first time after I'd gone back off the rails, one of the things that was important for me is to never let myself get really hungry. Because when I started getting really hungry, that's when my mind would go to all of those addiction places. So I decided with carnivore, fasting is great and I'll probably do some more at some point.
Yeah.
But I am not going to prioritize fasting over holding my carb addiction at bay. I will fast as long as it's like, okay, I can really do this and I've got a good handle on this. But if I'm fasting and suddenly I'm starting to crave like Twinkies and Doritos and soda and all the things that were really bad things that I struggled with, fast food, all these things I binged on, if that's what I'm starting to think about, I'm going to go eat beef and eggs.
Yeah.
And I'm going to say, nope, I'm not playing with that because there's a bigger picture than just the fasting. And I think Larry and Cassie have experienced some of this and they've talked about this. And I think, the fact that they put their stories online is a really brave thing to do, first of all, because you just get crapped on when you put stuff online like this. But on top of that, they are very open about the way they struggle. And it's a really good lesson that we can all learn from of if you're going to do this kind of stuff, you got to make sure you're doing it with the right mindset and the right perspective, and you're caring about the right things. So if you're not a person that struggles with those kinds of things, maybe you can force yourself to fast. It's no big deal, but just be careful and make a smart decision. So I'm sorry, I kind of cut you off, but you said something.
You're fired.
I know.
You're fired. No, I think that's really good. I was just saying, that we're not doctors by any means, but even eating one meal a day, I think sometimes that can take your body a while to get to the point. And so I'm just sharing from my own experiences, but with Lori's question, Lori, the other thing is, us ladies our bodies work totally differently than our husbands or, our male friends. And so for example, it's like when we started this live stream, I usually only eat 1 meal a day. So why did I start today off with bacon? Because instead of fasting, my body told me, you're hungry and I want protein hardcore. And so instead of being like, well, I got to fast, I can only eat from this hour to this hour. It's like, you know what? My body is changing. Something tells me that I probably should go eat something. So I'm going to listen to it. Now that doesn't mean when your body says, hey, go eat a tub of ice cream and a Snickers bar that you should, don't do that.
Right.
But what I'm saying is like, if your body's telling you I'm hungry, eat. If it's saying I'm not hungry, then don't eat.
Yeah.
And if you're going to fast, that's awesome. But I think it's kind of like, when we're on a standard American diet, we just eat because we're supposed to. Well, I'm supposed to have breakfast. I'm supposed to have lunch. I'm supposed to have dinner. If you tell someone, oh, I didn't have breakfast today, they're like, what?
Aren't you hungry?
Aren't you hungry? So that's how most of the world operates around us. However, when you're doing this lifestyle, you don't eat as much, and that kind of takes time to work into. So it's like, if you're hungry, eat, and if you're not hungry, that's okay, then don't eat, but listen to your body because it's telling you when to eat and when you shouldn't. And if you're going to fast, that's awesome. I've been fasting from time to time and usually do like an intermittent fasting type of thing, but when I do that, it's with intention, right? It's like, so I don't think we should just be fasting because everyone online on Facebook tells us that we should be fasting, and if we don't fast, then we're not real carnivores. Like, I just don't think it works that way, especially if you're new. So
I agree.
That's my rant, and hopefully we helped Lori. But
I agree.
Yeah,
I agree. Let's see. Martha says, exactly, Chris. That's usually when I eat, and then a large meal in the evening. Try to hit the 8-hour window.
Awesome, Martha.
Great. That's awesome. Cranky Carnivore says, it's the only time of year I can get out in the cold to build up my brown fat a bit. There you go.
There you go.
There you go. If you guys don't know what like cold and brown fat and all of that stuff is, you should definitely research it because it's really cool. You see people doing like cold plunges.
Right.
And you see people like going out in the cold and, just like without a shirt or, not putting on a coat or any of these kinds of things. There are many like metabolic benefits with your metabolism and, just the way you feel and all this stuff that comes from this kind of stuff. But the connection between cold and brown fat is very interesting. So you guys should definitely go check it out because there's a lot of ways you can do it that don't require you to do a cold plunge.
Oh, that's cool.
So Rick says, I never liked coffee. That's why I'm not surprised by that, but perhaps iguana tea.
There you go.
That's right.
Yeah.
Let's see. Sharon says, hello to Janelle and Cindy and Martha. Hello, Sharon. So excited to see what new creation Chris is doing today. Been craving waffles. Had a nice visit with my son overnight.
Aww.
Well, that's awesome. Well, I have that fantastic waffle recipe, and we're going to use that mixture, and we're going to do something totally not waffles, but very exciting. I think this one might be another one of those like the potato chips that kind of breaks the internet. We'll see.
We'll see.
We'll see. Lynette is here. Good morning,
Hi,
Lynette. It's so good to see you, our sweet friend Lynette.
So glad you're here.
So, by the way, Lynette, I know Ash texted you, but do you have any idea how excited she is about that chocolate peanut butter stuff you sent? I mean, seriously.
I'm real excited, girl.
Like, yeah.
It was like Christmas morning.
Yeah, she opened that box and her eyes were about that big around.
I was like, what is this?
I was like, Lynette sent something special for you.
What is this goodness?
Let's see. Chili Harder's thanking Martha says it was yummy, especially with the naughty crisps on the sides. You're right, Cindy. They're so good and fun to make. Thanks, Janelle. And the time for live chat is perfect here.
Awesome.
Cranky Carnivore Cutler says my coffee N equals 1 showed absolutely no benefit or withdrawal when I quit coffee for 60 days and no detriment, but taste pleasure when I added it back. And that's what we sort of experienced. And, and I know that there are some people out there that can't do it. And like, it really affects them. And I absolutely think like, if it affects you, don't have it,
Right.
But for us, we're very much like you. It was just kind of, it just took a little bit of joy out of my morning is the only thing that changed.
Yeah.
Lynn says, worked night shift for many, many years. Never drank coffee. Go figure. Weirdo? Could be. Lynn, I think it's just because you are a rock.
I think, I was like, Lynn, I am so impressed reading that. I'm like, dang.
Martha says she loves starting the day with coffee. It's more of a ritual than anything else. No cream, just unsweetened flavor like the Element mix.
Oh, and that's great. Yeah.
That's great. And that's awesome. Yeah, it is very much a ritual. And, that's Dr. Robert Saivez talks about this. When you take something out that's an addiction, you replace it with something else that's better for you because rituals and habits matter.
Yeah.
And if you take an addiction away and you just leave an empty hole, then you feel empty. And that's one of the reasons you struggle and you fall back off.
And it makes a lot of sense. Yeah.
Makes a lot of sense. Sharon loves her coffee with lots of butter. There you go.
Sharon, me too.
Yep.
Yeah.
Sherry says, I can't eat breakfast. If I try, it would end up across the room. Cruises were always tough because I can't eat until I'm up for a few hours and I intermittent fast and didn't realize it. That's awesome.
That's interesting.
That's great. Well, for a long time, I mean, Ash, when we first met, she never ate breakfast.
Not even on standard American diet.
Now, that's not because she was being healthy.
Nope.
That's because she was drinking a whole pot of coffee and at least 2 Red Bulls on top of that a day. And then she was eating trash food and then she was having alcohol at night. So not because we were being healthy, and I had my own horrible things I was doing too. So it wasn't just her. We had horrible habits and we didn't eat breakfast because I was usually still sleeping, trying to figure out how to wake up. She was drinking so much coffee and just running off of caffeine and chemicals. Neither of us was in a place to even eat breakfast or our body to even be ready for that.
I wasn't even aware enough, to do it. Well, that's interesting though, Sherry. That's really cool.
So Cindy says, Chris Cooking Nashville, behave.
Cindy, I've given up trying to keep this boy in line today. We let him loose.
Listen, I never behave. Well, actually, I do behave. It's just badly.
Yeah. There you go. Put that on a shirt.
That's right. Janelle says non-coffee drinkers unite. I'm a tea drinker myself.
Which is awesome too. I love some tea from time to time. It's good.
Cranky Carnivore Cutler says heavy cream in my coffee for the holidays was divine. It probably added a centimeter or 2 to my waist. Yeah. But you know what? If that's how you like to celebrate the holidays and then you can go back to it.
Yeah.
It's actually very ancestrally appropriate
to
gain a couple of centimeters of extra fat around the waist and then burn it off in the winter. That's what we used to do.
There you go. There you go.
Reese's Cluttered Kitchen is here. Had to finish watching Keto Be on the Couch, but I'm here. Hello.
Hi, Risa. Glad you're here.
Mary T is here. Hello from beautiful British Columbia. First time I've caught you live. After meeting you at KPL, I've been trying your amazing recipes. Wow, game changer. Well, Mary, I am so glad, and I'm glad you're enjoying the recipes. And thank you so much for being here. We're so happy to see you. John Wise is here. Made it late as usual, catching up on 1.5 speed. Good to see you, John.
Hey, John.
Jen is here. Hey, all. First live I'm catching this year. Happy New Year. Well, hi, Jen. We're so glad you are here, and Happy New Year. Beverly is here. Good cold morning. -35°C with the wind chill 43 here in Saskatoon. Love this Monday morning chat. Woo!
Wow.
Cold.
Wow.
Lori says, Chris, you have a great smile. Lori, you are so sweet.
Oh, gosh.
I've got some sass behind it, too.
We know.
Emily says, hi, Mary. It was the same temp in Western Kentucky this morning.
Wild indeed.
JJ is here. Good morning, y'all. Hey, JJ. How are you, my friend?
JJ? Glad you're here, my friend.
Let's see. Oh, look at this. Jeff Cox is here, and he says, good morning, beautiful people. Been listening to your past blogs. Have you been able to ditch the day job yet? In and out today between patients. First of all, thank you so much for the $4.99 super chat. It just helps us so much with the channel and the things we do. And yes, I did ditch the day job.
I guess
it was about 6 months or so now.
Yeah, I think you quit back at the end of July.
Yeah, it was the end of July because it was before my birthday.
Yeah,
I remember I quit. It was like late June or mid-July, somewhere around in there. We were talking about
like mid-July, I think.
Yeah, because it was after we came back from the cruise.
Yeah.
So yes, I have ditched the day job. So this is what I do full time, which is why $4.99 super chats means so much to us because we pay our bills doing this.
Absolutely.
And it's not easy. We are not wealthy people, but we would have it no other way because we get to help people doing this, and it's amazing.
Yes.
So thank you so much, Jeff. I'm so glad you were here. And just hope you're having an amazing day and bless you so much for being a blessing to us.
Absolutely. Thank you.
All right. Let's see. Richard Williams. Occasionally, Bailey's and bourbon in your coffee makes a difference in your morning.
You know what, buddy? You ain't wrong.
You're not wrong.
Yep.
John says he's had sausages for breakfast.
Oh, I love sausages.
It. I could use some sausage right now.
Yeah.
Mary T says, we seem to have sent our Canadian winter south this year, just getting seasonally cold here now.
Wow.
John says beer drinkers need a beer fridge.
Oh
that is right.
Yeah.
That's right.
Very true.
Let's see. Risa says right now it is 20 degrees here. We had 6 inches of snow yesterday. Had to call out from work. Have 2 days off now. I'll be making some of Chris's recipes. That's awesome. Well, I'm sorry that you have all the snow, but enjoy the time.
Yeah.
And have fun in the kitchen making some recipes.
That sounds awesome.
It's a great way to do that. John, I'm right there with him. Says big fat burger sounds yummy.
Amen.
Yes, I agree. Aaron is here. Thank you guys for what you do. My husband doesn't have sleep apnea, and I'm trying to limit or reverse my autoimmune issues. These recipes have been huge for us. Aaron, thank you so much. Guess what? I have sleep apnea too. And it's still there because I think mine is like kind of a genetic thing. I get it from my dad who also has it, but I'm definitely better with 130 pounds off my body, and I definitely sleep better on carnivore than I ever did before. Better. So
yeah, for sure.
Cindy says, I bet I can speak for many people by saying thank you for making those recipes for yourself. Yes. Well, thank you. I started doing this, and I told Ash I was like making these recipes, and I said I need to start sharing this, and maybe this will help, even one person out there.
Right.
So almost 119 now, almost 119,000 subscribers later, and probably a dozen or so what I guess you could kind of consider in this space viral recipes later, and here we are. Yeah, it's really amazing.
It's been a crazy ride.
It's a life that I never could have imagined myself ending up in the middle of, but I'm so blessed to get to do it. Martha says, haven't tried the crisps yet, but tried the fritters last night and loved them. Even the grandsons loved them. Did a sausage version. That's awesome.
Oh, I bet a sausage version would be really good too.
I'm gonna have to make you sausage fritters.
Yeah,
now, aren't I?
definitely.
Yeah, okay.
Definitely.
We'll get some sausage.
That
we'll do some fritters.
Awesome.
Yeah. That recipe is so good. If you guys haven't tried it, I love that. And see this right here, teaching grandsons to start eating more proper human diet stuff because you can make fritters for them. This is why recipes matter.
Absolutely.
These are the people that we can help and we can train and we can teach from the time they're young. Like, this is really good. Enjoy it. Just use the right ingredients.
Right.
Amazing. Amazing. Emily says, currently freezing the chicken paste from the 3-in-1 recipe video. Going to make an attempt to make dino nuggies. Love
awesome.
it. Love it. We'll have fun with that. And
nuggies.
if you have any trouble or issues, Emily, you got my number. You just let me know.
Yeah.
John says, on Friday night we had pork ribs and Saturday morning we had bacon. The entire house smelled like barbecue.
We need to go to John's house.
I was going to say, John, we'll be over for dinner.
He's on it, man.
Love it. Everyone's saying hello to each other. John also says no coffee since early 2003. Good for you, man.
Heck yeah.
Good for you.
That's impressive.
Rick says, exactly. I never realized how much people enjoy non-carnivore foods. I'm an exception, as you said. Only meat tempts me. You have opened my eyes to see how I can give them the options to eat together. Rick, that's amazing. And you know what? I wish that the whole world could just feel the satisfaction you do by eating that meat. And I know that there's just people that just don't, and not to say we couldn't eventually get the world there, but it's a whole process. And, people like you who are so stable on meat obviously don't need recipes, but the people who aren't, that we're trying to help get there, they just do. But if people like you show them the health benefits of your carnivore diet and show them how stable and how, just capable you are, and then you make them some recipes and say, listen, it may not be the cleanest version like I'm doing, but this is still so much better than what you're doing. Here's why it works. Here's the carnivore benefits you're going to see, all this kind of stuff. Just try it. And you give them things that seem familiar and tasty and fun to them. And it's like, that is one step closer to changing the world. And I think that's so cool. And I'm so glad that you kind of see that the way I do. I think it's awesome, because the more people we have on the team of changing the world one plate at a time, the bigger impact we're going to have.
Yeah.
It's more people we can help. So
awesome.
Jackie is here, says dairy-free carnivore this month and missing me some CCN staples. Well, Jackie, good for you for doing dairy-free. I know it's hard, and I'm going to have to probably do some more dairy-free for my own self at some point, and maybe I'll come up with some recipes. It's just tough to come up with recipes without some dairy because it basically leaves you meat and eggs. And like meat and eggs is great, but you can pretty much make meat and eggs mostly out of that.
Do you have your dairy-free gravy recipe out though?
Yes, I have. So the bone broth video, I also use the gelatin and make a dairy-free gravy recipe there. It's amazing. You can also make a dairy-free gravy with egg yolks, thickening that. That's a way back recipe, but I have both of those.
Those are some great dairy-free recipes that Chris does have, Jackie. Yeah. And you could put that over anything. It's so I think we've put it over, I don't know how many things in our house.
Oh yeah.
But that may actually kind of help you.
Chicken and pork and eggs. I mean, it's just good on anything. It's not
carnivore mashed potatoes, but it's really good. It will be dairy free and spice up the dish.
It's just really good, and it's really easy to do.
Super easy.
It's that's a really good one.
Yeah.
Let's see. Rebecca is here. Rebecca, good. I used to be severely allergic to lactose. Difficulty breathing to the point of doctors thinking maybe lung cancer. Been on carnivore since October. Well, Rebecca, I'm so glad you're on carnivore. I hope all of that is getting better. And, this is a good example of why it's like when you do this kind of stuff, you got to figure out what's going on with your body because something as simple as lactose could be the culprit.
Right.
So, and I'm just glad that it's not lung cancer and that it was a lactose allergy and really glad that you were here, Rebecca. So, continue to share with us how you're doing and what's going on with your carnivore journey.
Yeah. Any questions, let us know. Happy to help.
Angie says, that's why you and Ash are so important to all of us. These recipes are amazing. Hubs is now watching you too. Well, I'm so glad. Tell him I said thank you, and we just appreciate you guys supporting us.
Yeah.
Rebecca says, recently able to add back buttermilk and extra sharp cheddar cheese. That's awesome. So,
that's great.
So things where the lactose has been mostly processed out.
You can have.
Yeah. That's awesome. That's so healing.
Yeah.
Right? That's amazing. I'm so glad, Rebecca.
Awesome.
Love it. Jackie says, I tried to make some egg white mashed potatoes without the cheese. Sadness. Hubs was willing to eat it, but the texture was just not right. Yeah. The dairy in those just really helps kind of, bring that around. So Charger Mopar says, my house smells like meat as well. I would never want otherwise. I love it.
Yeah.
I love it. Barbara's here, says, good morning, Cindy. Enjoyed your interview with Victor last Friday.
It's a great interview.
Yeah, if you didn't see that, Cindy did an interview with Victor over at Southern Keto, and it was fantastic. So Cranky Carnivore says, meat and cheese odors work for me anytime. I'm right there with you, brother. Oh, look who showed up. Bruce is here. Another one of our rock star moderators says, howdy, folks. On the road, so I'm only listening. Well, that's all right, Bruce. We just appreciate you listening in, my friend. Hope you are having a good day, and be safe on the road.
Yes.
Risa says, I've got cream cheese thawed and ready to go for later. I'm making serious ketos potato salad with cooked radishes and my heart's of palm mashed potatoes. I like having them prepped for the week. That's awesome.
I like it.
Rebecca says, in Kansas, it's currently 12. We made carnivore fritters and women's noodles for, I think it's ramen noodles probably, for supper last night. Awesome. Well, Rebecca, I'm so glad. I'm glad you enjoyed them.
Those fritters, man, I'm telling you. The noodles, too. Noodles have been around for a while. Yeah, but that's awesome.
Yeah, that's amazing. I love how many people are making the fritters and just talking about how much they enjoy them.
They're great, and they're easy to do, too. They're so easy.
They really are. It's really a straightforward recipe. Risa says, Chris, your recipes keep folks satiated and eating for health, not to be trendy, eating all the crap. The recipes help keep us honest and healthy. I love that. Thank you so much, Risa. That's a great... It's a great way of looking at that. I love it. Let's see. John says, don't pay attention to the haters calling you fat. You look healthy, especially after seeing where you started. I'll be happy when I get even close to where you're at. John, brother, you go and get there. You just keep at it, and you're going to do it. And you know what? Where I am today is not where I'm going to be this time next year. I'll be better. And I fully believe that, and I'm happy to just keep doing it. And that's why I put myself out there. So I appreciate you being encouraging, and let me know how we can encourage you too, John, because you're doing great. Mary says she eats intuitively. Basically, if I'm hungry, I eat. If I'm not, I don't. Some days that's OMAD. Others it's 3MAD. I never eat by the clock. And that is the smartest way you can do this. I really believe that it is.
Yeah.
So... And yes, as Cindy says, disclaimer, no medical advice here. Right.
Definitely not doctors.
Definitely not. If you're looking at me on YouTube for your medical advice, God bless you. You got to find someone smarter.
I don't know about that. You're pretty smart.
No, I don't know about any of that.
We are well-researched, but not doctors.
Yes, correct.
Yeah.
Risa said we had chicken wings last night. I had mine with pork rinds and Southern Keto coleslaw made with bunk fruit. I pre-cooked them on my Ninja wood fire grill the other day, heated up in my air fryer. Beautiful.
Yum.
Beautiful. And Rebecca says, gotta love autocorrect. Ramen noodles, not women noodles.
Awesome. I was going to say, I've never heard of women noodles.
That's right.
What is that?
That's right. Did I put a recipe out like that?
I was like, what are you talking about?
That's so funny. John says, I think I might be having air fryer pork belly for lunch today. Woo hoo hoo hoo.
We got to go to John's house and eat. He's got the good stuff, man.
Yeah.
Oh, man.
I'm telling you.
That's making me hungry.
Lori says, Chris, that was a really good explanation of fasting. I will know how to move forward now. I'm finding it easier to skip meals without even thinking about it. Thanks for the info. You're welcome,
Awesome.
Lori. And the fact that you're finding it easier to skip meals means your body is slowly working in the direction where you'll be able to fast, maybe even water fasting, 1 meal a day, whatever you choose to do, and it won't feel like you're stressing out to do it.
Yeah.
And that's the goal. That's where we want to get, right?
For sure.
Jackie says last night we watched a live with Carrie Homestead Howe, Bella, Steak and Butter Gal, and several doctors touting dry fasting. Hubs and I are going to try a 24-hour dry fast soon. Cool. Yeah, I know there's some research out there that says that can be really helpful. So let us know how it goes, Jackie. It's cool. Risa says I had ideas after seeing the new Carnivore fritters. Add cooked Miralton to make apple fritters with Olive Nation apple extract. You just wait till Thursday. I have my keto video coming out, and mock apple fritters are one of the 2 things I'm doing. So,
and let me just tell you,
they're amazing.
They were really tasty.
So, but yeah,
incredible.
your method would certainly be one way of doing it. So, but I've got another one for you that I think is also good. Bruce says he's Catholic. The definition of fasting as he grew up was always 2 small meals that don't add up to a full meal, and then 1 modest meal. Didn't really do water fasts until starting carnivore.
Interesting.
Yeah, and that's the thing. There's a lot of approaches to fasting and what that can all mean. So it's really cool. Risa says, can't wait to try the fritters. I was thinking corn extract to make hush puppies.
You and Risa are on a link
Risa's on the wavelength here. So yeah. Let's see. Rick says, I watch Carnivore Quest 2. Personally, I never fast and can eat whatever I want and not gain weight. Stress is good short term, not long term. Absolutely. Yeah. A little bit of stress when you're fasting for a short term. Great. That stress on your body is what inspires healing. Yeah. It resets your gut and all these kinds of things. That's great. It's when you push yourself beyond where your body and mind are really ready to go, and then suddenly you're really struggling. So, yeah. Totally agree. John says, not a fan of fasting, and with a gastric sleeve, OMAD is not possible. I can manage 2 MAD on BBBE, but usually I'm 3 MAD. And you know what? As this person with a gastric sleeve, that's going to work completely differently for you than it will for, someone like me who doesn't have that. So yeah, and again, you just got to figure out what's good for your body, what makes you feel good, and just one step at a time, my brother. Awesome. I started December 31st trying to figure this out, and sometimes I get kind of confused. I couldn't even think about this without your videos and Victor at Southern Keto, so thanks to you guys. Aww. Lori, you're a brand new baby keto carnivore person here, and I know it feels confusing, but this is how we do this, and it's all going to be okay. You're doing great. One step at a time. Learn this as you go. There is no such thing as perfect, and that's okay. You just figure this out and just do a little better each day. And if you haven't yet, go download my ebook because it's got some good info. It's got some things you might have. So if you haven't already gotten that, download it. It's free. And if you have questions, let us know. We are here for you. And if you guys didn't know, we also have a private community. If you need extra support, or if you're trying to learn how to do this, or you have things you're dealing with and you want support from others in the community around you, come join my private community, because that's what we do in there. You can message each other. Ash and I are in there all the time. You can message us directly. Like I put extra recipes, I put behind the scenes, I put all kinds of stuff in there, and it's just there to be an extra support. So if you're someone like Lori who's brand new and you're like, I'm getting so confused, come in and ask me as many questions as you want on a daily basis. Absolutely. And you just get extra access, not just to me, but Ash. And my parents are in there. Victor from Southern Keto is in there. And Dustin from Keto Simple is in there. Pastor Bob is in there. Yeah. There's a whole bunch of community members who are really good at this, who are all in there. Like, we are all there for you. And that's why I have that community, so that we can all do this together, because when we do it together, we do it a lot better.
Absolutely. And we all learn from each other and support each other, and it's great.
Absolutely. And there's Janelle popping in Carnivore Quest's channel. If you guys don't know about them, go check them out. Let's see. Kimmy is here. This is so me. I'm addicted to food. I feel as if I was an alcoholic living in a bar. Kimmy, I understand. I was there too. I really was. I mean, it's embarrassing. We've told some of the stories. It's embarrassing what I used to do with food.
Yeah.
I mean, legitimately embarrassing. It's hard for me to talk about on camera sometimes because I feel so much shame over the way I would eat. It's just the fact that I know that my record for cheeseburgers from White Castle is 42
in one sitting.
I got the 50 Crave case and I ate 42 of them. There's something real wrong with that, and that's what I used to do, and it's embarrassing. Thankfully, I'm not that way anymore. But keto and carnivore is what got me there. Carnivore especially is what got me there. So you can absolutely do it, and we are here for you.
Also, not to go on a little
go for it.
Well,
I love your rants, and I love when you tell everybody about all these things, because it's great.
I don't know about that. But honestly, that right there just kind of breaks my heart, Kimmy, because I think we're all addicted to food, and I don't think you're really alone in that. Whether it's me, whether it's Chris, I'm sure lots of people here in the comment section can tell you the exact same thing. But I think you need to, of course, take responsibility and, eat keto, eat carnivore, eat low carb. You're now awake to all of that. And you have to realize that these foods, they're made to be addictive because people want to make money off of you. And now that you're awake and you're aware of that, awesome. Good for you. And I know that's hard, but it just takes time. My mom works in addiction recovery. And so it's she works with people that are coming off of, drugs and alcohol and all these things. I myself quit drinking alcohol when I went keto. Talk about being a musician who doesn't drink. I'm I don't even know, a spotted elephant in real life.
We are black sheep in the music world because we don't eat carbs, we don't drink, we don't do drugs. And most of the musicians we know do all of that. And
then we come over here to the YouTube side of thing, where we're trying to inspire people and, people think if you don't, fast and eat meat, salt, water, then we're doing it all wrong. It's well, I mean, I'm not hungover.
We just don't fit in anywhere.
We don't fit in anywhere. So we're just kind of doing our thing. But no, Kimmy, I just, I think that I completely understand, because there was a period, yes, food is everywhere and it's all addictive. I relate because when I quit drinking, when I went keto a few years ago, I still had to show up and play shows. I'm still offered it all the times at business meetings. I'll go into these social situations and functions, and it's what can I drink other than alcohol? And it's water. And it's just a big learning curve. But I'm just saying, hang in there. Because it does get easier and better as time goes on. And then eventually you're going to be able to go walk into any place, the grocery store, McDonald's, you name it. And you're going to look at those things and you're going to go, I don't even want this anymore. There will come a day, I promise, if you just stick with it, that you're not even tempted. But just trying to motivate you and encourage you, because that's it's hard and we get it, and you're not alone.
Also, I'm scrolling down, skipping a little bit, but she also says, I feel like it's the hardest addiction. It's not like we can quit cold turkey. And you're correct. It is very difficult. Now, one of the things that helps is to see this for what it really is. And it's okay, but what food are you actually addicted to?
That is true.
Because meat does not cause an addiction. Low carb veggies, generally speaking, unless you have something really severe going on, probably don't cause an addiction. What causes the addiction is processed sugar, grains, chemical laden, junky crap that has preservatives, has MSG, has all of these different things that aren't even food, that are put together to look like a food-ish product. That's the stuff we get really addicted to. And so when you cut that stuff out and you go meat mostly, maybe some low carb veg if you're doing the keto thing, and you let your body recover from all of the carbs, you start to realize the addiction isn't to food in general. The addiction is to all of the stuff that's spiking all of your hormones in weird ways, messing with your satiation signals, all of those kinds of things. That's what we really get addicted to, because here's the deal. I can eat meat until I ain't got no room left in me. I just stuff down the meat, right? I can't nearly eat the amount of meat like I used to eat carbs. It just shuts down. Like, and at first it's not necessarily that way. You can like eat and eat and eat and eat, and it's eggs and meat and all that stuff all day long. But eventually your hormones all settle out, your satiation kicks in, and now I can eat 1 to 2 pounds of meat in a sitting. That's the most. Like if I'm starving, I can eat like 2 pounds of beef. And I'm basically done the rest of the day. Yeah. Like I can't eat more than that. I tried. There's a video where I tried to see if I could eat 30 eggs. And it made a bowl of eggs that was smaller than the bowls of cereal that I used to eat. Mm-hmm. Like full of milk, sugary cereal, all that stuff. Like it was small. And then you're sitting here thinking 30 eggs, that's a huge bowl of eggs. Yeah, that's the size of cereal bowls I used to eat. I mean, again, embarrassing what I used to eat. I finished about 14, 15 of those eggs. I made it like halfway through that bowl of eggs. And I was like, if I eat any more, I'm going to hurl. I'm going to lose it. Like I can't. Your body just gets so much more satiated when you're eating things that are not addictive in and of themselves. And I'm not a doctor, but I would bet money that if you eat beef, butter, bacon, and eggs, you will get to a point your satiation will kick in and you will no longer be addicted to food. Yeah. Now, if you go back to eating the junk, the addiction can kick back in for sure, because those chemicals are what's causing that to happen in your brain, and the carbs and the insulin spikes and the sugar and the, the junk, the preservatives, the MSGs, the whatever it is they add to all the junk. Yes, that can absolutely kick back in. It's like an addict. If they start smoking or shooting up again, they go right back to their addiction, no matter how recovered they are. So you do have to, keep that junk out. But that's why I do recipes, so you can still enjoy things without the physiological addictive chemical stuff being in there. So, absolutely. But yeah, Kimmy, we're here for you. If there's things we can do to support you or help you, please don't be embarrassed to ask questions. Don't be embarrassed to reach out. Like, we're here for you because we're in the exact same boat as you. Yeah. We might be at a different point on the path than you are. I'm not sure. But we have gone through or are going through the same exact issue in whatever way we are dealing with it. So
I would also say most people in this comment section probably are right there with you too, Kimmy, as well. So.
Yes, there's a lot of people in this community who understand exactly what's happening, and they're happy to help. So
absolutely.
But yeah, great example of the kind of person that might benefit from the group that we have. That's why we do it. So that is linked in the description box for you guys. And you can also you can see it scrolling down there across the bottom of the screen, chriscookingnashville.com, if you want to check that out. So
we got the ebook, the private group,
all kinds of great stuff.
All of your recipe cards are on there. All kinds of fun stuff.
Some resources on the ebook page of like things that are great in the kitchen for keto and carnivore. Got links there for you guys, like all sorts of stuff.
Yeah.
Rick says, you have the right attitude, Chris. This is what the carnivore extremists need to understand. I totally agree with you, Rick. Dude. I love the fact that there are people that are so strict that they can do meat, salt, water. I think that's amazing, but you got to realize you can't beat other people up because of it. And that's the thing. That's, for me, that's the line. You want to promote it. I think it's fantastic. You want to encourage people to try it. I think it's great. You want to tell us all why it's the greatest and most ultimate way to eat. I think that's fine. It's the extremists that go into comment sections and beat people up and get angry with people and insult people because they're not doing it that becomes the problem. Because then it's like orthorexia nervosa much. It's an eating disorder where you're overly obsessed with healthy eating. So yeah, there we go. Let's see who else we got here. See right here, good example. Barbara says, "Me too, Kimmy, addicted to food."
Yeah.
See, you're not alone, Kimmy. You're definitely not alone. We have so many people here that all of us have experienced varying versions of this. Let's see. Rick says, "I'm going to have a heart attack burger for lunch." Love it.
Sounds delicious.
And everybody's just kind of talking to each other.
I like that. Those always a good thing.
But see, this is the cool thing about this community. Like, everyone can talk and like interact with each other and help each other, and all this kind of stuff. So Barbara says, "It's the carbs for sure. Just takes time to get them out of my mind." Yeah. And that's the
It's
thing.
a healing process, you know. Yeah.
Rick makes a good point. I don't force fasting. Does that mean I'm not a real carnivore? Depends on which one of the real carnivores you ask there, Rick, I guess. But I've been told that. So
Emily, no, Rick, you're obviously not a real carnivore.
Yes. Emily coming in with the jokes.
That's funny.
Love it. Carol is here. She says snow predicted for us here in the Florida Panhandle tomorrow, 3 to 5 inches. That's pretty rare down in Florida. I mean, the Panhandle's a little more likely because it's farther north, but that's pretty rare even down there. So
y'all stay safe.
Sherry says I don't even need to leave the house to do a cold plunge. My pool was 39 degrees, but nope, not going to happen.
I was saying, just go run out there, take a little cold plunge.
That's right.
Yeah.
John makes a great point. No, fasting really shouldn't be forced. On carnivore and keto, it often happens naturally. Exactly. Mm-hmm. You know, and if you push yourself a little bit because you're trying to encourage yourself to go that way, and you're like, you know what, today I'm going to see if I can fast for an extra 2 to 3 hours. Mm-hmm. I think that's great. And if you're hungry and you're like, I'm going to wait another hour and then I'll eat. Mm-hmm. I think that's fantastic because that's a mild amount of stress, training your body to go longer.
Right.
Excellent.
That's also fasting with an intention and a goal that you personally have set. That's not just forcing yourself to do something because oh, sorry, I can't cuss. Somebody on Facebook said that you had to do it. Sorry, caught myself.
Right.
But yeah, that's a very big difference.
Yeah. If y'all didn't know, we love Jesus and we cuss a little. So
I'm sorry. Yeah.
But we try to make YouTube not get upset at us. Cindy says, okay, you have my interest peaked. What chocolate peanut butter, Chris Cooking Nashville? So she sent some chocolate peanut butter Keto Chow. It was before she had moved to the new adventure of her life. And she sent Ash some chocolate peanut butter Keto Chow. She said it was her favorite flavor, which I think is probably about Ash's favorite too. And let's just say we have some Keto Chow recipe experiments going on. And
I'm not mad about any of it.
You enjoyed the first one the other night.
Oh, I sure did. I sure did.
We got
you don't even know.
Yeah, we got videos
so
coming.
Good.
We got videos coming. Auntie says cold plunge sounds evil to me. It feels pretty easy. It feels pretty evil to me. So Rick says my cats never fasted. They would eat whenever meat was available. And that's the thing. If you look at like animals that just instinctually know how to eat what's best for them, they eat when it's available, and their fasting is just what happens when they're either just not hungry, so they don't eat, or they are having to hunt.
Yeah.
And they haven't gotten anything yet. And so, you know, when you get that like brain awakening extra energy thing, when you're fasting and you go deep into ketosis and you're burning excess body fat, it makes you better at hunting. Clears your mind up. Emily says, I have a standing coffee date with my husband on Thursday afternoons. It's the only time we can have a conversation with no work and no kids. That's
I love that,
beautiful thing to do, though.
I love that.
Purple Lovin' Nana. What a great name. Good morning. Hello from frigid Wisconsin. Currently now -2 with wind chill as low as -20.
Woo, that's cold.
That is cold. We are so glad that you are here. So glad you're here. John says they're not talking about an ice plunge like the polar bear clubs do, more like 50 degrees, although some people will use ice water. Yeah.
Yes.
The ones that I get like just blown away by are the people that go out and have like a big ice plunge bucket that sits outside in winter, and they take a sledgehammer and they break the ice up on top of it, and then they go ahead and like sit down through the ice in the water. I'm like, you crazy.
Yeah.
Cindy says, be sure to hit the like button, folks. Yes, thank you so much. Nancy Griffith is here late, but here. Been missing it consistently for a while. Great to be here. Hi from St. Albans, West Virginia. Well, Nancy, we're just glad you're here.
Yeah, welcome.
There's our brother Barry Weems. Brother Barry's here. Good morning, my friend.
Yes, hello.
Let's see. Saying hi to everybody. Mary says the refrigerator soft butter mayo. I put that on everything. Yes.
Oh, it's amazing.
It's so good. And then you learn to turn it into things like my ranch dressing or blue cheese or any of that stuff.
We just had your ranch dressing just the other day.
Yep, I just made it for wings the other day.
I think for probably almost 2 whole years, I ate Chris's ranch dressing using the butter mayo that he makes like every day for lunch for almost 2 years straight. It was incredible.
Yep, absolutely. And there's Janelle dropping in the link to the video. Thank you, Janelle.
Janelle is awesome.
She's a rock star.
She really is.
She is a rock star.
She is amazing.
Rick says, yes, try it. And I can eat with them, unlike now when I cook non-carnivore foods, but eat meat while they eat the veggies, popcorn, bread, etc. Yeah. And that's the thing. Cooking for people is one of the most ultimate ways of showing people love. And you guys think about this. Food has always been a valuable resource for human survival, right? Like in times in history when famine was a real thing and we struggled with this because we didn't have a stable system like we do here in the West now, food was a very important resource. And I mean, like, you didn't want your enemies to have food because they could eat and then come attack you. Like, you wanted food for yourself. So the act of sharing food with someone was you giving up resource you could keep for yourself to feed somebody else. That's an act of love. And on top of it, if you take the time to not just make the food for them, but you do like recipe type stuff where you make the food extra enjoyable or like well put together, that's going to a completely different level.
Right.
And showing people a completely different kind of love. That's why I love cooking for people. That's how I look at cooking for people. I grew up in a family that cooking for people meant you love them. And that's really cool. And now you can do it and not feel like you're feeding them trash.
Yeah.
It's really cool. And you can inspire people by doing so. And they're like, hey, maybe I can do this carnivore thing.
Right.
Let's see. Martha says, my son started me doing cold baths last year. While it was a little hard to begin with, the benefits were well worth it. Yeah, it takes a little adjustment, but you can definitely do it. So Cindy popped in her interview with Victor. Y'all go make sure to check that out after this video after our live is over.
Yeah, it was great.
Nancy is here, says, making homemade pork sausage, thinking of toasted onions next time, hoping for warmer weather for you all. Well, thank you so much, Nancy.
Those sound so good.
Rick says, I'm debating whether to try making the noodles or the fritters first. So Rick, I would suggest the fritters because I would say it's a shorter and easier recipe from kind of like how you mix it to making it. The noodles, they're not hard, but they might just take a little longer the first time. And you have to have a food processor that's strong enough to make that mixture work. So it can take a little bit more work on the noodles. I would think of the two recipes, the fritters are easiest. So if you're like, I want to try one, I would say go with the fritters first because it's just a little easier.
Yeah.
And it's so customizable. I mean, both of those recipes are great and customizable, but if it was me, for my money, I'd maybe start with fritters first.
Absolutely.
So
yeah.
But I mean, either one, I think you'll have no trouble.
The noodles, I think, are one of the biggest like game changers that Chris has ever created. We even have served it to people like friends and family that come over to our house for meals, and we'll make them like, say normal, store-bought spaghetti or whatever. And then here's Chris's carnivore noodles. And a lot of them preferred the carnivore noodles over the basic store-bought, spaghetti noodles.
Your oldest brother, Brandon, shout out to Brandon Box, big brother. We love you.
Yeah.
He had the meat sauce that I made for the whole family. And I made my carnivore noodles as well as regular pasta for, the whole family was here. So he tried it and he was like, I actually like your carnivore noodles better.
Standard American diet.
Yeah,
like,
he eats standard meat. He lives in LA and has like access to some of the best food in the world. And he's one of those people. He is gainfully employed and does not mind going out and spending the money to buy really great food at nice restaurants because it's something he enjoys. So when he says he likes something I make, I take that as a big compliment because he eats really good food. Thumbs up. Big compliment.
Yeah.
I take that as a big compliment because he has access to chefs that are making amazing food that I wish I could taste that stuff.
Yeah.
Rick says, I think the haters who are calling you fat or trashing the recipes are compensating for something.
Yeah, Rick, I totally agree.
Yeah, I think they're compensating for something that's about that much.
I can't.
John says, I look for and buy all the meat sales several times a week. Yes, we do the same. I always go and I buy whatever's on sale at the local food line over here. And actually, I'm going to be doing a video. It's a BBBE recipe. So I'm doing a version of this, a test version of this, in Dr. Barry's private group coming up on February 1st. If you guys didn't know, if you're not part of Dr. Barry's private tribe, I'm a member over there, and he and Nisha actually have asked me to do once a month live streams in there just for tribe members. And so I do, different recipes where it's like a backstage with Chris, Tuesday night cooking style thing. So I do that once a month. On February 1st, I'm doing what I think is the best tasting. It's simple, but yeah, thumbs up. The best taste. My phone is just all into seeing my thumb today.
Yeah.
I think this is the best tasting, although it is simple, best tasting BBBE dish that I have ever done. And it's just because of the way that I'm preparing the meat. But I'm going to do sort of a test of this as a live thing in the group. And then somewhere along the way, I may modify and do some things and create an actual recipe video for you guys that's a BBBE thing. And it is a perfect way to, just like John here, you go buy whatever meat is on sale and you make it extremely tasty. And it does not matter if it is low fat, if it's a tough like form of meat, like, you know, if it's a tough muscle that doesn't have a lot of intramuscular fat, so it's not super tender, doesn't matter because the way I do this makes it so tasty. You guys be on the watch for that. But if you guys aren't, and if you're interested in it, you can totally join our private group. But if you have the extra funds to do it, and you also want to join Dr. Barry's private tribe group,
lots of great info in there.
He has amazing info, and that's a cool place. So, I mean, I like my group a lot.
you might maybe like it a little bit more.
That's right. No, I love Dr. Barry and Nisha, and I love the tribe over there. So if you're looking for like that medical type information, you want to go deeper, his group is the place to do that. And if you're looking for kind of the emotional support, extra recipes, and the Chris Cooking Nashville rock and roll vibe, then, you know, we got our group too. Yeah. So Sherry says, I got a jet for about 30 minutes. Feel free to put me in a timeout while I'm gone. I'll come back and listen to the replay on 2x speed to get caught up. Well, Sherry, just be careful on your little 30-minute run, and your timeout starts now.
Oh, that's funny.
Goodness. Mary says, I'm 66. I have a group of non-keto lifelong friends who think they're healthy. They're not. But we work out over Zoom together 2 to 3 times a week and have since 2020. Off to my workout. Love to you all.
Oh, that's amazing.
That's amazing. And you know what? Even if their diet isn't healthy, at least you're inspiring them and encouraging them and just letting them see your example. And that's amazing. So have fun with your workout and all of your friends, and have an amazing day.
Bye, Mary.
The Beard is in the house.
The Beard is
here.
And
he dropped in a $5 super chat. Dustin, thank you so much, my brother. We love you, and Dustin's going to be here in town with us very soon. Yep. We're going to be pulling out an air mattress for Mr. Dustin to hang out with us for a couple of days. We're going to do some videos together.
It's going to be awesome.
Yeah. Interestingly enough, if you guys didn't know, so you've probably heard about the whole TikTok ban thing, and it's like it's back, but we're not sure if it's going to stay. I don't know what's going on with it. Regardless, I think it has really shaken people's confidence in TikTok as a platform. That probably doesn't matter to a lot of you. But what does matter is I know people like Dustin and other people here, we're all keto and carnivore creators. There are a lot of keto and carnivore creators in the space who use CapCut to edit their videos. And guess who owns CapCut? TikTok. So all of these creators that have been using CapCut suddenly weren't able to use CapCut. And so now it's like, well, even if it's back, should I rely on it? Should I not? Dustin and I both use DaVinci Resolve, and it's a program. You own it. It's on your computer. You can get a free version of it, which does 90% of what the paid version does.
Yep.
If you want the paid version, you're getting really into video editing before you need the paid version. The free version will do what most people probably will ever want to do. So you can download the free version, put it on your computer, and you don't have to worry about them turning it off because it's on your computer. So Dustin and I both use it, and I think we're going to do maybe a live stream or some kind of a video and just kind of give people who are creators in the space a quick, simple, straightforward introduction to how you can use it so you can get away from CapCut and not have to rely on TikTok and the government to figure out whether or not you get to edit your videos. So we got a lot of stuff coming, but Dustin, we are so glad you were here, my brother. Love you very, very much.
Absolutely.
And we're very happy to see you. So hope you're having a great morning. Jackie says, got to run, moving a friend's RV to Washington today.
Cool.
But I'm leaving you running while we're gone. Hope that helps you out. Well, thank you, Jackie.
Thank you,
Jackie. Does. Thank you so much.
Very sweet.
Everyone's saying hello to each other. Kimmy says, Carnivore is helping immensely. Thanks for all your support, guys. You're welcome, Kimmy.
Yeah.
And that's the thing. Carnivore is so good for this. When you're like a carb addict, not just I'm unhealthy, like I'm a binge eater carb addict, Carnivore is the way to go, in my opinion. Dustin says he takes his own beverages places. That's a great idea. We do too.
Totally, yeah.
John says dealing with most addictions is fairly easy. Just stop cold turkey. That does not work for food addiction. Food addiction requires redirecting your addiction. Addicted to Ketovore for 3 years now.
Good for you.
Amazing. Yeah, that's the thing. Addiction, when you have addiction to all of these illicit substances, you stop all of those things, and then you just have therapy and different habits and all this kind of stuff that don't have anything to do with those same things or same people. And that's how you treat the addiction. John's right. When it's food, you still have to eat. So you have to realize, well, the addiction is the carbs, and redirecting the addiction, as you said, is let's get addicted to the idea of the meat and the few low carb veggies and spices we do or don't choose to include. And let's be keto and carnivore and take out the stuff that was causing the problem. And that's how we redirect it. So great advice, John.
Sure.
Excellent.
Yeah.
Bruce says, I don't think anyone is addicted to food, only carbs. No one overdoes steak. I totally agree, Bruce. I think people who are addicted to food, that's not a physiological addiction. That's maybe a mental, like, talk with a therapist kind of thing. Because, I mean, theoretically, you could be addicted to anything if you have like a psychological addiction to something. That's a very different sort of a thing. But as far as an actual physiological addiction, I agree. I don't think there's no indication. Dr. Barry has talked about this. There's no indication that there is anything in meat that can cause an addiction.
Yeah.
Our bodies just don't respond that way. Cool. Auntie is off work for the day, she says. Excellent. Barry Weems says, went shopping yesterday, bought 7 1-pound New York strips. I'm starting a 30-day meat salt water. Well, brother Barry, good for you, my friend.
Come on, Barry. That's awesome, buddy.
Yep. Make sure to let us know how everything is going. We would love, to know.
Love some updates. Yeah.
Lori wants to know, do you join the private group through the join button? Sounds like a silly question, but want to do the right one. So the join button below the video here is for the YouTube membership. And it's just if you want to support the channel. If you want to be in part of the private group, go to, in the description box, there is a link to the private group, or you can go to my website, and there's a thing at the top of the website that says the band. And there will be a link on there where you can click that. It's a Mighty Networks group, and it'll bring up a separate page, and it's like there's like a red background header and a picture of me, and it says join the band, and the whole thing. So that's the group you want to join if you're looking for that support. So
and chriscookingnashville.com, like you said, is going on the ticker.
But
if you go to the website, you can't miss it. It's right there.
If you go to the website, at the top of the website, there's all the pages, all the headers up there. You just click the one that's for the band,
and it takes you right to it.
And it's that whole page right there will tell you about it. So
feel free to come join us. We'd love
absolutely,
to have you.
We would love to have you over there, Lori.
We're a lot of fun. We've really enjoyed that group a lot.
Absolutely.
It's awesome.
Dustin says, I'll never get over my food addiction. I can't not eat. I just have to be mindful of the foods I eat. Over the last 8-ish years, what I find overly appealing has significantly changed. And that's awesome. Fantastic.
It's a big victory.
Right. And that's how we do it. That's like Bruce was saying, that's the redirecting. I think where John was saying redirect, whoever it was, it's redirecting.
Smart.
Yep. That's what we do. Nancy says, low carb veg is a gateway drug for me. I love salad, but eating it makes me crave more and then more other carbs until I get to the really bad carbs. Nancy, I relate. I can do a little bit of low carb veg now, but I have to keep it under control because I'm like you. If I let myself have a salad, I'll eat the whole serving size bowl of salad. No, not a bowl of salad. I'll eat a bowl of salad. And I'll take it way too far. So I have to be very, very careful. So Kimmy says dairy is even borderline for me. Yeah, I understand. Dairy is very easy to overeat. I struggle with it, and it's really something. So there's the link Janelle dropped in for the private community. Thank you, Janelle.
Janelle, you are so awesome. Thank you.
Yep. And Emily says this in the description, join button is for YouTube. That's correct. Kimmy says, thanks a mil. Greatly appreciated.
Of course.
And let's see. Sherry says, I didn't need to leave as my other pod that I'm listening to was canceled because it is MLK Day. Glad I'm still here. Well, there you go. We'll see. I should have put her in timeout, I guess.
Oh, God.
Uh-oh. The other Chris is in the house. Says, what's up, gangsters?
Oh, just being a gangster, drinking coffee.
Just doing our thing, causing trouble.
Yeah.
Chris actually sent me a video last night of a little collab that we are working on together, a little recipe video.
What?
Yeah, using some Keto Chow and It's going to be really good. So he was using his dehydrator, and they said the flavor was great. They just needed to dehydrate longer. So
awesome.
Yeah. So Chris, let me know if you have any updates on if you guys were able to dehydrate longer to get what you were going for.
That's so cool.
So Rick says burger is almost ready. There we go.
Yummy, yummy, yummy.
There we go. Let's see. Dustin says it's warmed up a little bit today. It's 8 degrees.
Oh, so tropical.
Cranky Carnivore Cutler says, I beat the OMFG challenge at Lindy's in Tucson after seeing it on Man vs. Food. 3 pounds of house seasoned beef, 1 pound cheddar and Swiss, lettuce, tomato, onion, and Lindy's sauce. Woo! Wow. It sounds amazing, but that's a big meal. But
Yeah.
He also says today the seed oils in the sauce would do me in. I hear you.
Oh, dude, for sure.
Says he ate it in 6 minutes, less than the 30-minute limit to get it with a free T-shirt.
I hope you still have that T-shirt, man.
Yeah, that's awesome.
That's pretty cool.
That's awesome. I love this. Sherry says, I'm addicted to Chris, Ash, Victor, Dustin, Cindy, and a plethora of you other peeps on here.
Aww.
And that is why I think people get so passionate about this community and why we are so passionate about it, because we can redirect our addiction from eating carbs to focusing on things like keto and carnivore and how we help people and all these amazing things that are so much better. So I love that.
Absolutely.
I love that. Oh, looky here. Auntie dropped in a $10 super chat. Auntie, thank you so much. Just blessed to be here, making Mondays more bearable. Auntie, you are a blessing to us, and you make our Mondays so much better. So
yes,
thank you so much. John says, heck no, I'd do a cold shower, but not jumping into an ice fishing hole.
John, I'm right there with you, buddy. Yeah.
Lori says, oh my gosh, I love this group. I don't feel alone.
And you're not alone.
And you're not alone. We are here for you because guess what? We struggle too. And we need you guys just as much as you need us. We really, really do.
We're just happy you're here.
Cranky Carnivore says, now I can almost wear that T-shirt as a nightshirt. That's awesome.
That's amazing. That's awesome.
Cindy says, Chris, I love you cooking for me too. Yes, we had a blast.
Great, isn't it, Cindy? Yeah.
Nancy says, yes, we love our air fryer.
Air fryers are great.
Dustin says to Chris Baird, did you know the two crazy ketos are trying to invade your Indiana meetup?
We got an invasion.
Uh-oh. Lewis Stone says, I have to head to work. I'll catch the rest on repeat. Have a great day. Lewis, my brother, you have an amazing day.
We'll see you later.
Chris says, what if I want to feed trash to my enemies? Wait.
Well.
Well, I mean, that's up to you.
Yeah, that's a personal choice.
So John says, so overeating is ancestrally, I believe he means appropriate. I mean, just saying, Dr. Barry always says, go eat meat until you're comfortably stuffed and then take a nap because it's ancestrally appropriate. So,
I'm a fan of naps. So
works for
I'm
me.
all about that.
Chris says that he did indeed know that. Rachel convinced Joe they need a different trailer. They've arranged to get it at the same time as ours. Love it.
Oh, funny.
Love it. Let's see. Everyone's looking forward to that Indiana meetup. I wish we could make it for that. Bruce says, made it home, so dropping out. Talk to you guys tomorrow night. Bye, Bruce. Have a great day, and we will see you in the kitchen tomorrow night for Chris Cooking Nashville's Backstage with Chris.
At 6 p.m.
6 p.m.
Central Standard, 7 Eastern.
John says, early morning at Sam's Club is great for meat sales. Love it.
Oh, for sure.
Martha says, no fishing holes for me either, John. My son actually made his own cold bath that we use. Not a big fan of walking on ice-covered lakes.
Yeah.
And Janelle is awesome. She put up the link for Dr. Barry's community. So if you guys are looking for that medical support and the coaching that they have in there, there's the link, and it's amazing. And if you want to come watch me cook over there once a month, come on.
Yeah, it's fun.
If you do go over there and join, tell Dr. Barry and Nisha that Chris Cooking Nashville sent you.
Yeah.
Let's see. Auntie says, I need to win the lottery and hire my own CCN. LOL. I guess I need to play. Absolutely.
That's funny.
Let's see. Purple Love and Nana says, my first time here in live, have checked out a couple of your recipes, Chris Cooking Nashville. We'll definitely be back here for more community. Well, Nana, I'm so glad you're here. And yeah, anytime. You're welcome everywhere we are. Like, we just love having you guys here. John says, I sous vide almost everything, so tough cuts don't bother me. Eye around, chuck roast, bottom around, I'll buy them all. Drop them in the sous vide pan for 6 to 8 hours, sear in butter. Yummy every time. And that's a great way to do it.
Mm-hmm.
That's a great way to do it. I've cooked thousands of things sous vide at this point. I've been doing sous vide for 5 years?
Oh, easily.
5 going on 6 years, probably.
And it's all good. It's awesome.
Yep. Martha says, Keto Simple. My son actually found tutorial for making his with a cooler hooked to it, so no adding ice. That's cool.
That's kind of cool.
Cindy says, I deleted TikTok, cannot get it back. Said not available in the US, and those that still have it will not get any updates. Yeah. So see, this is the thing. We don't know what's going to go on with this, but how
much we can do about it.
Yeah, we just can't control it. But that's why it's like, okay, well, for creators, let's teach you how to use something like DaVinci, and we'll Dustin and I both have used it for a long time, so we know it pretty well inside and out. So we can maybe communicate to the people in this space how to use it and how to use it simply like you would use something like CapCut.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Good stuff.
Auntie says, I guess I've been out of the loop. What happened to TikTok? Yeah, apparently they banned it.
Yeah.
And so I don't know. It's weird. Where I like your LA friend, I joined the band, SBG, and Healing Humanity Life in addition to the PhD community. However, I'm more like Rick, so it's just the PhD tribe for now. Makes sense. Makes total sense.
You guys are at a good place in your journey. That's awesome.
Yeah. And Rebecca says, can someone add the link to join the band? I'm sure I could find it, just being lazy. And there is Dustin dropping it in. Thank you, my friend.
Right there.
John says, carb addiction is definitely a physical addiction. Meat addiction is a mental choice. Absolutely.
Totally.
Absolutely. And here's the deal. If you're addicted to meat, as long as you're not doing something with it that's like harming you, you can be addicted to meat, and it's not going to harm you just by eating all the meat, which is the great thing. So,
right.
Let's see. And there's Janelle dropping in the link as well.
Thank you, Janelle.
Richard Williams. A hungry hunter is improving their skills rapidly.
True.
Yes. Absolutely. Let's see. Risa says she's got to go. Have a good day, Risa. Hope everything is great for you today. Dustin says, I watch food challenge videos all the time. Even met Brandon's garbage disposal was in one of his videos last year. That's cool.
Oh, cool. Very cool.
That's very, very cool. Cool. So I think we are caught up on comments, which took us quite a while today, but that's okay. Everyone's chatty. So let me talk before we get too far in here, and let's talk about why I put this thing up here. It says, don't fear the tunnel. Focus on the light at the end. So Ash and I, we had a very emotional, heavy live stream last week. And so we told you guys we wanted to have a much more upbeat subject matter this week. And I thought this was just this cool idea. I saw a picture of a tunnel online. And I was thinking about this, there's always like light at the end of the tunnel and all this kind of stuff. And it made me realize whatever we are in the midst of, whatever we are going through, don't focus on the thing you're going through. Focus on the results you're going to get when you get through it, right? Don't think about on a daily basis like, oh, it's just hard. I'm struggling. Oh, I feel so sick. I mean, it's like keto flu, these things.
Right.
Don't focus on what you're going through immediately. Think about what's coming at the end. When you get to the tunnel end and you get that light at the end of the tunnel and you break out of that tunnel. Like, you guys ever driven through a tunnel, been on a train in a tunnel, walked through a tunnel, like whatever, you come out the end and suddenly it's like everything opens up and it's bright and you hear everything and it's like, the light is almost blinding. That's what it's like when you're like Kimmy or you're like Lori and you're like these people who are new to this, or they're struggling with an addiction with carbs, or they're working through keto or carnivore or whatever, maybe for the first time, maybe they're not that far in. And it's like, maybe you have some keto flu. Maybe your body is dumping things. You're going to the bathroom constantly. You have some stomach upset, like, intestinally. You have cravings that are still sticking around, like all these things. All of those things are real. And I'm not in any way downplaying going through those. Those are a real thing. But instead of focusing on those things, if we keep our mind, our perspective set on what is at the end of that tunnel, focus the light at the end of the tunnel is what we're searching for. That's what we're reaching for. That is the hope that is taking us day by day by day through the things that are maybe not always the most pleasant to go through, but you're going to make it. Like, you're going to be okay. And I think this is something that we have been trained by big food, big pharma, and big government to think that, well, you're supposed to be in a state of constant comfort, constant security, constant being taken care of every day. So we have food products to deal with your cravings that are just easily accessible and can be, you just open the bag and eat it, right? Which is not how food has ever existed in the world past the last 75 to 100 years. Food has always taken work, which is why when people say your recipes take a lot of work, yeah, I know they do, because cooking real food takes work. And if you don't want that, then don't make recipes. That's fine. But it takes work because we're cooking actual real things. Convenience foods are there to make it so you can just deal with an addictive craving by refueling that craving even further by opening a bag and just eating something. Yeah. You also have big pharma, which it's like, oh, you have pain? Here's a medicine to make it go away. Oh, you have a health issue related to your poor diet? Here's a medicine to take away the symptoms. We're not treating root cause. We're just taking away the inconvenience of being sick in the moment, so we don't actually have to deal with the fact that we're sick. We can just cover it up with something. Big government. Let us run everything. Let us take care of everything. We'll mandate what you can have, and we'll handle the food system, and we'll handle this, and we'll handle that. Well, so then what happens when big food and big pharma go lobby and make it financially viable for the government to make choices that benefit the food corporations instead of the health of the people? So laws are put into place where it's okay for them to put known carcinogens in your food as dye. It's okay for seed oils to be the standard that's in everything. Like, how many things in our country that are in the food are illegal? We just had coffee with Pastor Bob and a couple that was with him on Friday, and this couple was from Sweden. And they were looking at food in the grocery stores, and they were looking at the label, and they said, that's illegal, that's illegal, that's illegal. That's like all of the things that are in our food are literally illegal for companies to use in Sweden. So it's like potato chips, they're not good for you, but they're way worse here than they are in other countries, because other countries are at least smart enough to outlaw the chemical petroleum byproduct crap that is doing things like causing cancer in lab rats. I mean, like, how stupid does that sound to say it out loud? But yet, that's what's going on. So when we're in the midst of all of this, don't focus on the convenience of just relieving the pressure of what we're going through. We're trained to do that because food, pharma, and government all make money off of us wanting instant, convenient relief right now rather than treating a root cause. So we don't focus on the inconvenience and the maybe unpleasantness of going through a very temporary problem of changing our root cause of health. We focus on the light that's at the end of that tunnel, because that's what I want. I'm chasing light at the end of the tunnel. I'm not chasing feeling good immediately right now. Let me go pop a handful of pills and eat a bag of potato chips to take away my craving and my headaches. No, I'm going to let my body do what it needs to do, try to minimize it, do the best things I can, get up, move, eat the right stuff, get proper sleep, reduce my cortisol, do whatever I've got to do to feel better, but do it in a way I know is healthy, and seek out the light that is over there at the end of the tunnel. And that's where my focus stays. I keep my mind set on the light at the end of the tunnel, and it makes it easier for me to stand up to what I'm feeling in the moment, because it's not about the tunnel. It's about the light at the end. So don't focus on the tunnel. Don't focus on the things you have to go through. Focus on what you're going to get at the end of it when you get there. And that will keep you inspired to say, no, I don't need the junk food. No, I don't need these medications, or at least I'm going to work to get off of them, because eventually I won't need these medications. Do that with a doctor's care. I'm not telling you to go just kick your medications right now. I'm not a doctor. I don't need other people telling me that it's okay for red food dye that's a petroleum byproduct, or yellow food dye that's a petroleum byproduct, both of which cause cancer. I don't need food that's convenient, that fuels a carbohydrate addiction, that's filled with this stuff, because companies have no idea what else to do with it. So they stick it in the food supply and then they make money off of it. I'm not going to sit here and focus on the tunnel that I'm in and then do the things that make a bunch of wealthy people wealthier as they use all of this stuff to abuse me and my family and my friends and my community. I'm going to focus on the light that's at the end of the tunnel, and I'm going to force my way through and insist on only doing the things that are good for me, because I'm focused on that goal at the end, which is coming out of that tunnel, seeing my whole world open up, have the light at the end of the tunnel just bathe me in the happiness and the warmth of newfound good health, and sit back and watch corporations and government and pharma and all of these things that have profited off of our sickness start to lose their control. Mm. Focus on the light at the end of the tunnel.
Love that.
Thoughts on that?
I agree with everything you're saying. I think in this world, we're very, in society today, you're very conditioned to want things, one, instantly. So you want to be healthy quickly. You also want to, like you said, if anything's hard, it's like, oh, well, this is hard. It's inconvenient, whatever. So therefore you're just, we're kind of taught not to really embrace those things. Mm-hmm. Yet, however, in order to be healthy, your body has to heal. So you may experience things like keto flu. Maybe you need to cook more of your own food at home versus going out to eat somewhere. And mm-hmm. There's a lot to it, but I think I just agree with everything that you're saying, babe. I think it's so many people want the results, but when it gets hard, they just kind of want to jump ship because it's hard and they don't want to hang in there. Mm-hmm. And we get it's hard, but it's more than worth it.
Yeah, I totally agree.
Mm-hmm.
Totally agree. John says we have to change the standard American diet organically by changing what we buy rather than banning stuff.
Agree.
Love it. Absolutely love it. And that's the thing, when we get the information out there to people and we tell them what this stuff is, and they start reading what's going on that food label, and they recognize the reality of all of this, mm-hmm. and they go, this is poison. Mm-hmm. And you go, yes, it is. And then they stop buying it. And mm-hmm. guess who starts to struggle? Frito-Lay.
Mm-hmm.
Pepsi, Coke.
Yeah. And this is like, with our new friend Kimmy, who was tuning in earlier, that was talking about being addicted to food. Mm-hmm. This is kind of what we were starting to talk about.
Yeah.
Where it's like, you have to realize that your entire life, you've been treated like a lab rat. And basically these people are feeding you all of these chemicals and all these things that have made you, the unhealthy mm-hmm. version that you are today. But at least now you're awake, and now you can start making the right choices and decisions. And it's hard, but at least you're aware of it.
Yep.
And it's like, so stop giving them money and let's, change the world one plate at a time.
Yep. It's really interesting. Ash and I were watching, we've been going through the whole Star Wars series.
Yeah.
We were watching the episode 7 movie.
The Force Awakens.
The Force Awakens.
Yeah.
And Rey, one of the main characters, at the beginning, she's a scavenger, like a trash scavenger. Mm-hmm. And she trades pieces of junk that she finds for this like food
rations,
stuff,
basically.
rations, and that's how she's surviving. And the people who control the rations control what she does, how she does it, what things are worth. It's all based on them. And she's trading all this for food. And Ash made the comment, she goes, isn't that amazing? The people with the money, the people with the resources are in charge. And what are they doing? They're taking people's work, and for it, they're trading this quick to prepare, convenient, carbohydrate looking bread type stuff as this is just enough to get you by. It's not the greatest thing you can do for your body. It's just enough to survive off of. And I'm going to decide how much of it you get so that you are beholden to me because I own the resources, and I'm going to give you the least amount of the cheapest version I can because it keeps you under control.
Yeah.
It's literally in the Hollywood movies what they're doing to us as huge corporations. And here, what do we all do? We go to the movie theater. We sit there with our big bucket of popcorn. And it's full of all of the seed oil chemical stuff that's not real butter. We have a great big soda and the candy, and we sit there and we go, wow, look at that. She's just eating this stuff, and she's just under control of these. I'm like, We're so, as a society, blinded to what is happening to us on a daily basis. We don't even see that that is what we're doing.
Mm-hmm.
And now that Ash and I have been,
he's so
sorry,
he's knocking over the
I
camera.
know, I'm getting so excited, I'm going to start kicking things.
Yeah.
Now that we are at a point where we are so much clearer about what's going on in our lives, Ash and I are seeing this, and we recognize this as, hey, this is what we were going through. Hey, this is what's been happening to us for the last 3 decades.
Yeah.
Like, it's crazy.
Yeah.
It's crazy. And you see it now, and it's like, I don't want to be a conspiracy theorist. I love a good conspiracy theory, but it's like, I don't want to sound like a conspiracy theorist, but it's like, I've lived it.
Right.
I've lived it. I've been part of it. And now I'm outside of it, and I look at it and I go, oh my gosh.
Yeah.
It's in the movie.
Mm-hmm.
It is like, how do you keep the lower class down beneath the upper class? Well, you give them junk and you make them beholden to you for the little bit of resources they get.
Mm-hmm.
And food is one of the easiest ways to control people.
Mm-hmm. Prepackaged food they give her that you throw a little water on and it instantly becomes a loaf of bread, and that's what you eat.
Yep.
And,
and there we go.
Yeah.
And there we go. That's what's going on. So anyway, so enough of the conspiracy theories, but that's what I want to leave you guys with today, is just focus on that light that is at the end of the tunnel instead of focusing on being in the tunnel itself.
Yes.
Don't think about where you are. Think about where you're going to be.
Mm-hmm.
That's what matters the most. Let's see. Cindy gave us a $5 super chat before she had to go. Thank you so much, Cindy. We love you too. Hope you were going to have an amazing day.
Yeah.
Dustin says it should only take 3 months. You're funny, Dustin.
I know
funny,
that.
Dustin.
Inside joke. I know what that means.
Yeah. Very, very, very funny. There was a hit piece that was done on me on YouTube, and I'm not going to tell you guys who or what, because the guy doesn't deserve any more attention.
No.
But quite literally a satanic cult leader.
Real deal.
I mean, as in there's a documentary about him on YouTube. So quite legitimately a satanic cult leader who did a hit piece on one of my recipes and was talking about me being fat and how all of my weight should have been gone within 3 months. And my recipe is ridiculous. I'm not a real carnivore because I don't eat raw meat, drink blood, and then use rotten meat as a way to get high.
Yeah.
If you guys want to know what it's like to be a carnivore YouTuber and deal with like ridiculous crap that people want to give you, that's the kind of stuff that happens. And all we can do is laugh and shake our heads.
Yep.
So, yeah. It might take you longer than 3 months, even if you're a real carnivore. Just FYI.
Just FYI.
Oh, wow. Dustin says those big companies will pivot and they'll find ways to continue to make money from us. They sell us water. Yes.
You're not wrong.
Absolutely. Yeah. And here's the deal. They're going to pivot. They're going to make money off of us. But at least if they can do it without being by abusing our health, that would be a great step in the right direction.
Absolutely. Yep.
So, Rick says, I would rather watch ducks fight and mate while eating iguana legs. Love it. Love it. Martha says, Chris, you and Ash are the light at the end of the tunnel for many of us. Watching your transformation is an inspiration to the rest of us, and your recipes make it so much easier. Love what you're doing. Martha,
Martha.
You are the sweetest. We love you. And I'm just glad that we can be here to try to, we just try to inspire. And it's, some days I think it's easier than others. And some days I feel like we're more successful at it than others. And we have our own struggles too. And, but we just want to be there and create a community, create a wave of this positivity that can change people's lives, and just try to help as many people as we can.
Agreed.
Because
Absolutely.
we needed it, and people helping us is how we got to where we are. And we really need other people to be a part of our community with us, because we can't do it all on our own. So
very true.
We just appreciate you guys. Lori says, I miss popcorn the most. I pop my own in olive oil and only salted. Yep, I know. That's a tough one. I don't know if I'll ever make carnivore popcorn, but I'm trying to think about it. I've been thinking about it a long time. We'll see.
Who knows?
Rick says, use lard for popcorn. It works better. Yeah, lard would be a great choice for popcorn, especially because of the high smoke point.
Mm-hmm.
If you're going, I don't recommend anyone eat popcorn, but if you're gonna eat popcorn, lard would be a better choice for sure. Lard, or pop it in lard and then add real butter, real melted butter to it. That would be a great way.
So really solid point. So what you're saying is don't buy the bags where it's already seasoned and whatever, and then go throw it in a microwave and eat that. So if you are going to have something like that,
it's
just
not
buy
good
the
for
popcorn
you.
kernels.
It's not good for you, but if you're going to have it, buy the kernels, pop it with lard, and add melted real butter to it. And at least, I mean, it's not good for you, but at least if you're having it, you're not getting seed oils, you're not getting junk, you're not any of this other stuff, and it's going to taste a lot better with actual real butter and like Redmond's real salt on it.
Yeah,
like at least it'll taste good. Not going to be good for you because there's nothing about corn good for you, but I also don't beat people up for having cheat meals. I've done it.
Yeah, totally. But that's the thing, though. It's like, even if you are going to have something like popcorn where it's like, yeah, we're not really supposed to have that, or whether you make it for your kids, your spouse, parents, loved ones, whoever, if you do that, then, okay, don't buy the packaged stuff and put money back in their pocket.
Right.
Go get the popcorn kernels, make it yourself. And that's something you shouldn't be eating every day. It's a once in a while treat.
Yeah.
But it's like, when you do that kind of stuff, do that. And, and the difference is day and night.
Absolutely.
I mean, just that alone. Yeah.
Absolutely. Rick says, as long as the light is not a train. Yes, absolutely.
That's funny.
Auntie says, have a fabulous day, everyone.
You
Auntie,
too,
have a great day. Lori says, Rick, I thought we couldn't have popcorn. So this is a good example, Lori. Can't have it's either a moral decision or it's someone else is making rules for your life decision. You can have whatever it is you choose to have. What is ideal for your health and what is not ideal for your health is how we want to think about that kind of stuff. So if you have popcorn, it's not ideal for you. It's not good for you, but it's not that you can't do it. It's just not ideal for your health to do it. And so if you do it, it's an intentional choice of, this is not the best thing for me, but I'm choosing to do it. When you start to see things that way, it's no longer about rules and regulations and people telling you what you can and can't have. It's about you having control over what do you choose to do with your life. When you have that control and you have that decision-making power, then it's scary because it's like, well, it's all on me now. But at the same time, it's like, yeah, but guess what? It's all up to you now. And it gives you that control back. And when you're not fighting a carb addiction where you have like no mental ability to say no to things, makes it a lot easier to make good choices for yourselves.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah. Rick says, carnivores don't eat popcorn, but I made it for my mom. Absolutely. And that's the thing. There are some people, like in this situation, Rick making it for his mom when she was around still. You're not going to force somebody else to just change and just not have things like that. But if you make it for them and you make a better version of it that is less of a problem than the easier version or the junk-filled version with like seed oils and preservatives or whatever, at least you're helping him that little bit.
Yeah,
and that's
it makes
a good thing.
It makes a big difference. Absolutely.
I love this. Auntie says, wow, you're doing great when the devil attacks. Amen. I told Ash, I said, when a satanic cult leader who eats raw meat and drinks blood is so upset because your recipe has reached so deep into the algorithm that they find your stuff and then they find a need to do a hit piece on you, makes me think that where I am and what I'm doing and the people I'm helping is exactly where I'm supposed to be. And I'm very happy that if I'm going to have someone who chooses to be my enemy, I don't want to be enemies with anybody, but if I'm going to have someone who chooses to make themselves my enemy, that's the kind of enemy where I go, I must be doing something right. So let's see. Cranky Carnivore says, vomiting sometimes makes me lightheaded, but I never got high from it. Yeah. There's some real interesting people out there that have some very unusual ideas. And it's why we have to be clear-headed, because we really need to be aware of the crazy, just wild stuff that's out there.
Oh, absolutely.
And I mean, it's like, you got to be able to see clearly enough to see that for what it is and go, nope, that's nuts. I'm not doing that. Lori says, I'm trying Ketovore, I think, but popcorn is my favorite snack.
Yeah.
Yep. And Rick says, I've grown traditional popcorn and made it for mom. And that's the thing. I mean, that's as close as you can get. I mean, it's not healthy for you, but that's the closest you can get to it being the least bad it can be. Grow it yourself, pop it with animal fat. And I mean, like, that's as close as you're going to get to it being not, you know, that's the least bad that popcorn can be for you.
Yeah.
And what a cool thing if it's really important. If it was a thing when his mom was there and he was making that for her, if that was really important for her, what a cool thing to go to all that effort to give her the least bad version of it you can.
Absolutely. No, I totally agree.
What a great thing to do. So, let's see. Chris Bear says, put butter on pork rinds, buttered, quote, popcorn. Yeah, there you go. That's a great, some people really like that too.
Yeah.
John says, try plain salted pork rinds, good with dip or alone. Just make sure the only ingredients are salt and pork skin. They also make a good popcorn or chip replacement. Absolutely.
It's true.
Yep.
Yeah.
Absolutely. And Auntie says, Pork King Good pork rinds has a salted butter flavor that really helps her popcorn craving. That's cool.
Yummy.
That's cool. Laura says, I'll have to look further for pork rinds. The first and only ones I bought stunk.
What's the...
You have something to say about that?
Yeah, Epic
pork
Epic
rinds.
is name. Lori, look into Epic, EPIC pork rinds. You can buy them online for sure, but if you have a BJ's, that grocery store by you, Chris and I are members there.
Might be some other grocery stores that may also have them. I'm not sure.
But look it up online. I'm sure you can find it around you. But yeah, they're amazing because I usually didn't care for pork rinds for years because I felt like they had a bad stench, and then the aftertaste to me was just a very heavy lard flavor.
Yeah,
and that was something I just didn't really find appealing. But we had a friend, actually Pastor Bob, gave me this bag of these Epic pork rinds, and he felt the same way. So he's like, try these. I ate like half the bag, and I was like, these are incredible. Yeah. So my favorite pork rinds of all time.
Amazing.
So good.
Yep, they're very, very good.
Yeah.
Yeah, Cranky Carnivore says when I make popcorn, I use ghee or coconut oil.
Yeah,
so
there you go.
Different ways to do it, and that's the way you just limit how bad it's going to be by using the best things you can, and just try not to have it. But if you do the version that's the least bad that you can.
Absolutely.
Everybody's talking about popcorn.
All the good stuff.
Let's see. I think I missed up here. Yeah. Anna Rice is here. Hello, Anna. She says, I love this conversation. It's so true. People are lulled to sleep with this food today. I agree.
Very true.
And you know what? When you're brain fogged, you can't see stuff clearly. Lord knows I sure couldn't.
No, that's very true.
Becky Lou joined. Lay says, good morning, Chris and Ash. Hello, Becky.
Hi, Becky.
And Jesse Mills is here. Says, if popping popcorn, use an air popper or use butter, not oils or lard to pop it. Great idea.
Cool.
And Cranky Carnivore says, Nisha said, we need to change our speech from I can't eat that to I don't eat that. That's beautiful.
Very different.
Absolutely fantastic. Yeah. Nisha's a smart lady, I'm telling you. She's a very like real life application of proper human diet type person. Like her focus on the proper human diet and how it applies to real life really matters. Love it.
Absolutely.
Dustin says, I can have whatever I want. What I want has changed.
I like that.
And Becky says, I've been carnivore since August 2024 and I've lost hair. Big shed. Does anyone know why and what to do? Yes, Becky, this is actually a very common thing. Nisha has a bunch of great information about this. It's especially prevalent in women, it seems. Dr. Barry also talks about this and why this happens. Generally speaking, it's not something to be concerned about. Now, I'm not a doctor. I can't give you medical advice, but I will tell you this happened to Ash. This has happened to my mom. This happened to Nisha. This has happened to some other women in the community here. When you go carnivore, your body is healing. The last thing your body is concerned about is your hair follicles because they're not that important for your survival. And so your hair follicles weaken because they're old hair follicles that were already made with junk and they're weak anyway. Hair falls out. As you stay longer on a carnivore diet and your body heals and you have high protein, high fat, and lots of collagen, that's really important, lots of collagen and high fat and high protein, your body will heal and it will regrow that hair. But it's one, it's going to heal a lot of other things first. And then two, thumbs up. And then two, when it does that, it's going to be slow because hair grows slow. So you're going to see all the fuzzy stuff coming in where hair used to be. And eventually over time, it will happen. Our hair, both of us, is thicker now than before we were keto and carnivore. But I lost a little bit maybe, but I have such thick hair, I didn't really notice it.
I lost a lot at first.
Ash lost a lot.
Yeah, but we hear that all the time. It's actually very common.
Yep, it's a very common thing. So don't panic. There's nothing to do other than just stick with what you're doing. Just be carnivore and just get lots of fat, protein, and collagen.
Yeah.
That's it.
Absolutely.
That's it. And it will heal and it will work. So Janelle makes a good point. Any big diet change can stress your system and cause hair loss. It'll usually come back, but often mineral supplements and B vitamins help. Absolutely. Absolutely. Get proper minerals, and if you can, incorporate some liver into your diet every week. Just, a little bit. If you don't like liver, there's supplements you can use, but ideally incorporate a little liver. You'll get super vitamin foods going on that way.
Absolutely.
Beverly says she has to go. Enjoy today's talk. God bless. Keep helping us. Hugs to you three. Well, thank you, Beverly. We love you. And he says, I try not to smell pork rinds.
Me too. Yeah.
Lori says, we'll look for Epic. We don't have a BJ here in my area. Thank you guys for the tips. I'll also look for Porking Good pork. I always cook my own popcorn and only salt it.
Awesome.
Excellent. So that's great. So you're right there. So yeah, just start looking for things, to maybe start replacing that over time. So that's all you got to do.
That's great.
Kitchen Witch is here, says at Becky Lou, me too. Only negative effects of this way of eating for me. Good far outweighs the bad. Yes. And if you just stick with it, that hair will come back. Well, Noelle tuned in last minute here. Hi, everyone from Quebec. Hello, Noelle.
Hey, Noelle.
I don't know if it's pronounced Noelle or Noel, but, I'm just
we're glad you're here.
Redneck doing my best here. But we're really glad you're here. And hello, I bet Quebec is cold.
Yes.
Jesse Mills says pork rinds. Make sure they don't get any that comes or processed in China. Yeah. Yeah. I mean, there's not really much of a reason for us to be shipping pork skins across the ocean. We have plenty of pork skins here in the United States. So
true.
I believe Epic is a American company.
They are. Yes.
Yeah.
I saw that on the back.
Yeah, that's a great one. Holly Springer is here. Says Nick Norwich released a video today on hair loss with intermittent fasting. Recommend applying vitamin E topically to help correct the hair loss. Well, there you go.
Awesome. Great.
Very cool.
Everyone here is so knowledgeable, so smart.
We'll see, and this is why the community matters so much. This is why we have a group. This is why we do live streams, because I learn just as much as all of you hopefully do. So Becky says, thank you. I won't panic anymore. God bless you both. I love you guys. You're welcome, Becky.
We love you
Listen,
too.
I understand when these things happen, we are trained to panic and react. I need a medicine. I'm doing something wrong. Something's happening. Like, we're trained to do that from the time we're born, right? And just having the knowledge is power.
Yeah.
Having the information to know it's okay and it's going to be okay. And that's one of those, don't focus on the tunnel, focus on the light at the end. Don't focus on the hair loss now. Focus on the health at the end and the thick hair you will eventually have.
Well, and if you think about it, your hair loss, I get totally why that's alarming. It was alarming for me too. But once you realize what your body is doing, you know, it's kind of like the keto flu. It's like, you start eating cleanly and then that happens and you feel terrible. But it's like, well, when you have the knowledge of knowing, well, why do I feel terrible? Oh, wait, my body's dumping. It's it's good things.
Absolutely. A Cranky Carnivore also says iodine supplementation can help with the undesirable effect of hair loss. Great tip. 2% Lugol's iodine is what we use.
Good
we
stuff.
we each have 10 drops a day. You probably don't need that much, but we're experimenting and we're trying that much and we're doing great. So do some research on Lugol's iodine 2%. Dr. Barry talks about that a lot. There's a lot of info on iodine out there. So
definitely.
Cranky Carnivore also says Dr. Kilt said on a recent live that hair loss occurs subsequent to weight loss from all methods, not just keto and carny. Exactly.
Perfect.
It's your body healing. And even if you're not doing it in a way that I would recommend with keto carnivore, if you're losing weight, your body's dumping toxins and junk and it's healing things. Regardless of what method you're using, it's healing because it has to. So it's just kind of part of what's going on. So Dustin says, don't panic and don't forget your towel. Love the reference. Love the reference.
Yep.
Noelle says today is negative 15 Celsius. Woo! That is cold.
Chilly.
Janelle says, love the live stream. Got to go. See y'all later. Bye, Janelle. Have an amazing day. Thank you.
We appreciate you.
Lori says, yes, Ash, knowledge is powerful.
Yeah, definitely.
And Keto Simple says negative 15 equals 5 Fahrenheit. Ooh, that is
cold for me.
Cold. Well, guys, we appreciate all of you being here. I cannot tell you how much this community means to us, and we've been on here for over 2 hours today, and it just seems like almost feels like we're just getting started. So thank you to everyone for the super chats today. It makes such a huge difference. Mm-hmm. Thank you guys for being a part of this community, for loving us, for loving each other, for helping us to just make a difference in the world. Don't forget about the ebook, which is scrolling and is also linked in the description box, and the new private group. We have a bunch of crazy stuff going on over there with great people. It's growing every week, and we're just going to be able to do so much to help so many people. So please consider coming over there and joining us if you would like additional support, some extra recipes, behind the scenes, all kinds of fun stuff that comes directly from my brain, amongst many other things that are over there. So we just love you guys. We appreciate all of you. We hope you're having an amazing day and that you have a wonderful, wonderful Monday and a great week ahead. We're going to go film an amazing recipe video. You guys be on the lookout for that. And then tomorrow we will be in the kitchen backstage with Chris, 7 p.m. Eastern, 6 p.m. Central, and we'll be cooking live. Since I have a pork shoulder, I'm probably going to end up doing something with pork, but I'm not entirely sure yet. So
I like it.
I don't know what we're going to do tomorrow night, but we'll do something fun. It's going to be a great time. So thank you guys all for being here. We love all of you. This is Chris Cooking Nashville, my beautiful wife, Ash Taylor. Guys, eat your meat, love your life, focus on the light at the end of that tunnel, and we will see you all very soon in a kitchen or who knows where else over here in the Chris Cooking Nashville space.
Bye.
Bye, y'all.